Did you get that?
I hope you did, cause
I don't think I did.
Oh my god!
Damn.
The chain reaction of Tony almost getting biffed with that paper towel and Mark almost dropping the whole box of cookies. Oh my god! I hope you got that.
Two hands.
Two hand handoff.
do we start?
Two hands.
Yeah.
Two hand handoff.
Welcome to the reset.
It's the reset. Wait, hold on.
You gotta let
Sorry,
Tony
Mark.
just take.
Tony, you want to get that tape up there? Get the chat going so we can see that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
And we might have some videos to watch. Y'all like porn?
Mm-hmm.
I do.
You guys are nasty.
You gonna tell me you don't?
That was my boy.
He hit you with that Marth counter.
I fight for my friends.
I do fight for my friends. Mark don't though. I
Right.
don't even know. Damn, man, I just chowing down, man. Hold on.
I'm
man.
hungry, man.
See, I already introduced it. All right, so you know who's here? Who's here?
Mark.
I.
Marlon.
Josh.
Herbert. I'm here.
Everyone else left.
This ain't gonna work.
Reminds me of that substitute teacher episode. Or,
Oh yeah,
video.
Key and Peele. Yeah.
Look, D Nasty or what? D Nice.
D Nice?
Yeah, D Nice.
D nice.
AA Ron.
A Ron.
Did you see
know what
that
I'm
Harry
saying?
Potter one? Like the inner city Harry Potter school?
What? No, that
Yeah.
sounds amazing though. What the heck, dude? All right, man. Welcome to the weekly reset.
What's the reset?
Yeah, we just here chilling, dude. It's the holiday edition. You know what I'm saying?
We got cookies.
And beer, as always.
There's something sticking out of my cookie, dude.
That's a pepperoni.
What kind of cookie is that?
Pizza cookie.
What? You know, we just here chilling, y'all. Glad you could join us.
We have a fun video for you guys Friday.
Thanks, Tony.
Sorry, I'm drunk.
He said we have a fun.
He's drunk. Find out why on Friday.
Right, find out why on Friday. Yo, let me know if you like my Christmas sweater. Ooh, I don't.
Or my sweater.
I rated as good as I rated the movie.
We're gonna get to that. And it better be good. Nah, anyways.
I got a question for you guys real quick, man.
Go ahead.
Well, did anyone not see it?
No, it's not about
I
the
did
movie.
not see it.
I saw the movie, though.
We're gonna talk about the movie. Everybody saw it but your last one.
Damn.
What's
You
the question?
won't even remember.
Wait, there's got to be spoilers in there, man.
What's the question, man? What's your question?
So, just talking sports real quick since we're wrapping up.
Okay.
So, what do the Lions have to do to not repeat this shit this year?
Get a new quarterback.
Oh,
Well, I mean,
Do you think that's going to be
a
the
lot of people are
solution?
saying that.
Yeah.
well,
Why?
I mean, right now, what they're
Well,
their third
Because
string.
when Stafford was playing, he was doing good.
Hold on, dude.
Okay.
What hasn't changed since we were on this losing streak?
The head ownership.
Well, okay. Well, no one's gonna fire Martha Ford. But what I'm saying is,
I mean, we were losing before that, so yeah.
yeah.
There was a
I
We're losing
mean,
before that, we're losing when Jim Bob was over there, right? We're
Jim
losing.
Bob.
Or no.
yeah,
Bob
Jim
Quinn.
Bob.
Yeah, it was Jim Bob Cooter.
I'm telling Bob Quinn, right?
Bob Quinn. What? No. It was
Didn't he-
Jim Bob, right?
I don't know his name. I just know Jim Bob. That's
Cooter.
not
He was
right.
like the offensive coordinator, right?
Yeah, it was like
Regardless,
Jim Caldwell.
regardless,
or
we changed
Caldwell
up
or something
our
like
coordinators, our head coach.
Yeah.
We've
'Cause
changed our
Patricia,
offensive line. We've changed our receivers. We've made changes to like damn near everything on this team, except.
I mean, honestly, if you think about it, like
I don't know.
I don't know, we don't have any extreme weapons. Our quarterback is, in my opinion, very mediocre.
Dude, I say the same thing with the Patriots. Like before Edelman and Amendola was like top notch, they were like mediocre. But when they started getting the ball from Tom Brady, now they're like high end receivers.
I mean, right now, in my opinion, I don't think I think the only reason right now the Patriots is doing so well, at least this year, that defense is impeccable.
Yeah.
Well, I would say when Calvin Johnson was here, we most definitely had pass gaming. But we didn't have any run game at that time. So we didn't have a balance between the two. So we couldn't throw.
We had Reggie Bush. I mean, he was all right, but Reggie Bush was straight.
These cookies kind of nasty.
Honestly, the only thing we haven't tried, to answer your question, the only thing we haven't tried is new quarterback. Honestly.
Yeah.
So.
Let's get
And nothing
Colin Kaepernick and see what's going on.
I'd be down.
I thought.
Yeah, I'd be down with Kaepernick, but that's not happening.
I thought they were done with him.
Yeah, I mean, he fucked it all up with his chances.
Kind of weird. Yeah, you're pulling out weird cookies, but I think this one's still the weirdest one. Like, look at it. I was touching this while we were talking.
That's gross.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
I ate the other half of the other part of that one. It was okay.
Okay. All right. Also, I'll try it.
Well, let me tell you about the 49ers. Those guys are they coming out of the woodwork.
Stop.
That's
Chris's favorite team, and I just don't want to talk about them right now.
Because, I mean, last year, they weren't even close.
Dude, the last 5 years, they were straight trash.
Yeah, exactly. And this year,
all of a sudden, now they're.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I
they
think George Kittle as a tight end, that guy is easily top 3 tight ends.
Anyways.
But I mean, if you think about the 49ers as a team, imagine if they had a good quarterback. How much better they would be. Because Jimmy G, that guy's straight trash in my opinion. No, as good as that team is doing, that quarterback is trash. Put anybody else in there. Put fucking Russell in there, Patrick Mahomes in there, even Tom Brady in there. That team would be unstoppable with that line. And then the weapons that they have. But the only reason why they, in my opinion, they even have the losses that they do is because Jimmy G's trash.
The whole team's trash. Anyways.
That's not what their records say.
They're not, dude. They're good this year. They're good. But I didn't want to say that on camera.
You said that we changed our O-line, right?
Yeah.
That didn't work.
No, we changed everything except for quarterback.
Nope.
I really do think.
I feel like the defense line. I know sometimes they get penalties that really are kind of. I think are shit.
I think the offensive line would be next.
Having a good O-line is always a good. Keeping your quarterback protected is always good.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying we've made
giving them time to.
We've drafted. We've entered the draft, drafting, skipping top-notch players and drafting O-linemen first. People are looking at the lines like they're nuts. I'm just saying we've made changes to our O-line, we've made changes to our D-line, we've made changes to our defense as a whole, we've made changes to our receivers. The only thing we haven't changed in the past, 9 years? Is it 9? Is it his 9th year?
Yeah, Stafford. Yeah.
That's it.
Well, I mean, whose fault is that though? That we haven't invested in a new quarterback?
Well, because look at how much he's getting paid. They just believe
that. When you
I think it's because
what's that rating that they do?
Well, did you hear about the whole Josh Johnson thing?
Because I think a lot of times it's you look at Stafford, and he's a stat machine. He puts up the stats, but he doesn't
They're
there's QBRs or something like that, the quarterback ratings. His QBR is right now I think 5th in the league.
You can pad those numbers.
Yeah, you can, but the guy's been out for he's 5th right now. And how many games has he been out?
We don't, like Steve said, we never. How many years did we not have a running game though?
Yeah, no.
So he had to pass.
Yeah.
You could pad those numbers.
You
go with Drew Brees who completed 30 out of 34 passes, and you go with Stafford who completed 40, but out of fucking crazy 56 passes. You know what I mean? You can pad those numbers. But I'm not saying he's bad.
No, yeah.
He's not bad, but
another thing is
what puts us over that hump? I don't know. That's the only thing we haven't tried yet.
I would say probably a good strong O-line that can make openings with a good running back that can
I think we need a solid running game.
I think I agree with that. We do need a solid running game because that's what it seems like right now. Unless you're Kansas City, that literally all they do is pass and they get it. But if you look at the 49ers, that's how they've been doing really good. They have 3 decent running backs that just and they switch between the all 3 of them, and those guys can cut pretty hard. And they get in. And then, so when you do the running game, that opens up your receivers and your tight ends to, hit those, pass plays really hard. And, there's, besides that, George Kittle's a monster. I've seen him just mow down.
Is he the number one? Is he the number 1 tight end this year?
It's between him or Travis Kelce, in my opinion.
I'm going to say Travis Kelce is a beast.
About Ertz.
Nah, dude, that guy's not.
Zach Ertz fell off, right?
Yeah, he fell off this year. He's definitely a shadow of himself from last season, in my opinion. But like those two are probably easily top two, and like when they get the ball though, they just mow down people. Like they will break.
Good.
Yeah, they will
Kittle's
break
good.
like 2 or 3 tackles before they go down.
Kittle's good.
Yeah.
But dude, this isn't a sports podcast, dude. Fuck that shit, man.
Oh,
Anyways.
man, I thought that was part of it. Yeah, I liked it. I've been watching the full. Let me tell you about my man Lamar Jackson. That guy's a monster.
We're a weekly podcast.
Oh, Lamar Jackson.
That guy's a monster.
Now we're talking about something.
I told you, that guy was he beat Michael Vick's record.
Yeah, no, Lamar Jackson.
I told you, I was like, yo, he's a better version of Vic. Like I said, he's a better version of Vic.
I'm loyal to Michael Vick.
Don't get me wrong, I love Michael Vick, but
No, he can scramble.
yeah.
And I mean he passes better than Michael Vick. So
Yup.
I don't know, man.
I mean, I don't think he still has the arm strength because Michael Vick can
Michael
throw
Vick
it down.
can stand on the 10-yard line and throw it into the other end zone.
yeah.
He can
Look
throw it
strong.
to the dude in the top
He
section.
said, "Go, no, keep going."
Yeah.
He said, "Yeah, I told you to keep going."
I don't think he still has the strength of it, but
Nah.
my man can run.
Yeah, man.
He
Yeah.
can run. I think he's like out of rushing yards, he's 4th.
Stafford can't run, man.
Stafford can get hit. He's
Yeah,
great.
Stafford is tough, dude.
He's
He can
tough.
take hits, get his head lopped off, and get right back up.
He's getting all kinds of
I don't
things.
think
snapped
I don't
up.
think the back will agree.
No.
But,
no.
I mean,
Back
that's
be like, I fractured again.
Yeah.
That-
That's
That to me
true,
is
actually.
still crazy that a quarterback is the 4th rushing yard person out of like many running backs. He's 4th.
You would think
Right.
that they would. Well, the thing is, dude, they can't dial him up because he's new. So this is what happens every time you get a rookie quarterback that just switches it up on you. Because then, like, you get a scrambler like Lamar Jackson. So you say, what do? You start rushing secondary, right? You blitz, right? But this motherfucker can pass too. So you blitz your secondary. Now you got wide open receivers.
Well, like the thing is, like Cam Newton was like that, but then they forced him to stay in the pocket, and then look what happened to him.
I feel like
Don't do
with
that,
quarterbacks
dude.
too, like the defense is a little bit more easy on quarterbacks running.
yeah, for
Well,
sure.
yeah, I mean, yeah, with the new rulings, yeah, they got to be like it's so strict with that. Because remember, what was it? Was it last season where it just felt like roughing the passer call was like every call, like.
Well, it favors the quarterbacks now more than ever, just because what was that? Was that a couple years ago when who was with the Ravens? Joe Flacco.
Yeah,
When
the
quarterbacks
Denver
rush,
stuff.
they slide to avoid getting hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Flacco does not know how to slide. So he would slide and get hammered. So they had to increase that rule. Like, he would slide, but then he would, like, his shoes would, like, stop him or something. And then he'd just get his head lopped off, like, literally. And he was, like, that game where he got his head lopped off, he just laid there. He tried to slide, and they tackled him and lopped his head off. Everybody's like, oh, Flacco's down. I was like, stop scrambling. You cannot slide. Stop.
Speaking of
Yeah,
Flacco, why did
slide.
Denver?
Yeah, dude.
Why did Denver pick him up? I think they would have been better off just working on a new.
Because they lost.
So
the
here we
best,
go.
They lost the best
We got to talk
quarterback in-
about, dude, don't talk about Denver, dude.
Hey, they sucked this year, but they beat the Lions today.
I mean,
But
it's just like you think instead of picking Joe Flacco, like you would just. I mean, yeah, you lost probably one of the best quarterbacks, like we'll see in a while. But
Tom
you
Brady?
think you would this would be after you losing such a strong quarterback, this would be like a rebuilding phase. Like you would work on a new quarterback, probably do terrible because I mean, guess what? You picked Joe Flacco, doing terrible.
Well, no. So this is what you have a decision to make, right? You either go with a rookie quarterback, which you already did one last year, which was with the guy from Memphis, right?
Yeah.
Or you rebuild, but you start with a strong quarterback, which I would pick Flacco over a rookie. I would pick Flacco over a rookie.
You wouldn't pick Kaepernick over
I'd pick
Flacco?
Kaepernick over a rookie, but I'm not racist, so of course. For sure.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I just
But
feel like
Kaepernick on his before all that went down, Kaepernick was like in his prime.
yeah, Kaepernick was pretty good.
So like what? Like it's just.
Imagine the 49ers
I thought
still
about
keeping
boycotting.
him.
I thought about boycotting the NFL, man. Like, there is no reason for all these like general managers to like not pick him up. I get the whole kneeling during the flag thing. Actually, I don't get it. But he's able to come back now. You know, whatever black ball list that was, right?
I think.
But no one picks him up still. Why is no one picking him up? No,
I feel like,
answer that. Why is no one picking him up?
Feel like
Well,
I feel like he fucked it up for himself. His
Yeah, I
chances.
think-
Before that.
Yeah.
Before that.
No, before that. Yeah, I agree.
Before that.
I 100% agree.
Before that.
I think for picking him up now, if you're saying why would they pick him now? Because they don't want to take the risk that he's going to be doing something like that again. Like they don't.
What's the risk though?
No, like they don't want to
I'm
like
saying.
have controversy. With
No,
their,
yeah.
like,
You don't
name.
want the whole media attention shit. Like whatever they pulled with that whole combine thing, that was BS, right?
Yep, that was
But
stupid.
Before that,
No, before that, yeah.
I don't know what the reasoning is that no one picked him up before that.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, there are so many bad teams that should
Before
have
what?
picked him up.
Before this whole combine.
Before they gave him
and
a
then
like,
the YouTube
before
thing.
the NFL decided to. I mean, because like, the NFL had already announced before the combine thing that they didn't blackball him. Like, he can join back in the NFL whenever he wants. But the reason why he didn't was because there was no team willing to pick him up.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I think it's because the controversy with him. Like his name brought a controversy, like
I get
already
that.
attached.
But, I mean,
to
if
it.
you think about it, guess what?
Antonio Brown?
The Patriots pick up Antonio Brown. That's literally what I was about to say.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I was like, somebody said, Kareem Hunt.
yeah.
Any
Kareem
NFL
Hunt.
player that's been dragged through the mud in the press.
well, I think Kaepernick was bigger than both those ones. Like I think it was.
Oh,
like,
well, I will agree that it was
more-
a bigger controversy because the NFL did literally blackball him. Like, they literally did
That's
not
what
want
I'm
him to play. But then they went back on it and then was just like,
Well, I'm just saying that.
All right, we'll let
that's
you
what
play,
I'm
man.
thinking that they.
No, for sure.
They wouldn't want that because they just don't want any type of like controversy. Like
But what
I
I'm
think
saying
NFL teams literally don't want any kind of like negative press or even like middle of the ground press type thing.
Not true. Don't make this argument, Steve, because it's a hard argument to make, and I will counter it every time. It's
Like
like
what?
because okay, so when the video of Kareem Hunt beating the shit out of that chick came out, Kansas City dropped him right away. Right? Kudos to them. Right? Browns picked him up. What happened?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Suspended for 8 weeks, but he was still on a team able to play. Correct?
Yeah, but I'm saying like just because
I
like
mean, the Browns needed it though, but you know.
No, don't get me wrong. They whack. but
Browns still suck.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield went through a phase where he was straight trash. How many teams have a rookie starting out
okay,
straight trash?
well here's the president wasn't talking about that, was he?
The president wasn't talking about what?
That whoever
Kareem
was
Hunt?
beating on what the
Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt?
was the
Yeah.
president talking about that? Because the president was talking about Kaepernick for sure.
The president as in Donald Trump?
Yes.
How is that? I guess I'm confused on why.
I'm
that
saying
is.
like it's. I'm not saying like.
they don't want the
it's a
controversy
bigger
from the
controversy.
president.
Yeah,
I don't want to talk about the president.
I was gonna say that's a terrible. That doesn't make any sense. What does Trump have to do with the NFL? The NFL is an
because
entire.
the people who
organization.
actually elected the president probably are watching football.
That doesn't matter because the people when they blackballed Kaepernick, they lost a bunch of viewers. That's why they allowed the combine anyway. People were boycotting the NFL when this whole thing went down anyway.
That was a bunch of
It's a bunch of racism.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like their views plummeted. Like there were people boycotting the NFL. Like this was like a whole bigger issue. I know what you're saying. It's like it was like a whole publicized thing. People don't want anything to do with it, right? But I'm saying why?
I think it's
why are
the
other
issue
players,
more than it is.
Yeah, it was what
Yeah.
it was what it represented. Because players who get dragged through the mud and like Kareem Hunt
They're saying
beat
that because
chick-
Kaepernick was more like
Because-
disrespecting the country essentially because it was the national anthem.
Whoa.
Then what? You're disagreeing with that?
I don't think Kaepernick was
I don't think
disrespecting
he
the
dis-
country
I
at
don't think he
all.
disrespect the country. Do you think
But-
he disrespect the country?
Because he was doing it at that time. Yes.
I mean, I think what Steve's saying is that because a lot of people, since he kneeled. Sorry, I got to
he was
He's
chopped out.
killing these cookies right
I
now.
was saying, I think Steve is.
He like literally
think-
shot cookie at me.
Yeah. I think what Steve's saying is like, yeah, I don't think he disrespected the country personally.
I'm
Absolutely
saying
not.
that
No.
his controversy was more about disrespecting the country than
But a lot of people
because a
feel
lot of
like
people were
that-
feeling
that's
that
what
it
they
was
felt.
disrespecting
Yeah,
the
that's
country
what they felt.
because
Like I remember when
so that's
Vine,
what his controversy was more about disrespecting the country than the other issue. Even though I think they're equally horrible. Even what Kaepernick was actually was doing it for, that's horrible too. It's like they're all equal in my eye, but it's like people were most definitely leaning towards that country thing.
I don't think it's equal though. I don't think he was disrespecting the country. But
Yeah,
I'm
but
just saying.
I get what he's
But
saying.
a lot of
though.
people-
I understand what Steve's saying.
I know what
I
he's
understand what
saying.
Steve's
I know
saying.
what he's saying. I'm not dismissing it. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, people were saying that
Yeah.
Because I remember watching
people
you're
were
supposed to
saying
stand during the national anthem
Yeah.
or whatever. Take your hat off.
Remove your hat.
people were saying
take your hat off, Mark. I
Kaepernick
hate
was
that.
being
No.
disrespectful to the flag and what America stands for, and
Yup.
Kaepernick is saying what America stands for is not basically
He's basically,
happening.
he's basically saying it's the freedom.
The freedom is not happening,
Yeah.
so he was petitioning, that point. But
How's it taste?
Did you just tongue that pepperoni?
Yeah, he did.
No, dude. Can we get up?
Just
Come on, man. It's
pretend
the
like
holidays. Can we get off a serious topic real quick?
I just wanted to know what we have to do to get the Lions through this
Well, you
building
brought it up.
phase.
Get rid of fucking Stafford. Who brought it up?
Yeah,
Who brought it up?
Marlon did.
Yeah,
I
Marlon.
was talking about the Lions.
I know.
I will let you know. Yeah,
We
I've
spun
never,
off into some
We did.
political
We spun
shit.
off. We spun hard.
I'm
I
just
guess,
trying to
I guess
figure
going
out.
back to I've never really liked Stafford from the get.
You said Stafford?
Stafford.
He's drunk.
Stafford,
Yeah, drunk.
Stanford,
I never like
Stafford.
Stafford from the
I
get
really
go.
like Sanford and Son.
Sanford and
That
Son.
show was like back in the 70s.
Memphis, Vernon, Sherman.
I definitely feel like they should be in the rebuilding phase with the new quarterback.
Well, they're in a building phase really because they don't have anything.
They've been in
But
a building phase for
'cause,
years.
What if everyone just boycotted the Lions? Like, stop showing up to these fucking games, man.
I don't think that's
Actually,
gonna
me and
happen.
Josh, man.
Actually, I heard that the last
people
games or
don't like
few
the
games
Lions.
they just
yeah.
stopped going.
Yeah, probably.
Like, I mean,
Lions
that'll send
fans don't
more-
like the Lions, dude.
Yeah, I mean that's how.
Let me
it
tell
goes.
you.
That would send more of a message that
Should've
dire
saw
change
that
needs
first
to be
name.
made. Really, I think.
No, for real.
Like, if you
It
stop
does.
showing up, like right now, they're trying to like make some of the season tickets cheaper, so people will show up.
Guess who
But
won't be
I heard
going?
like a couple of games ago there was like 10,000 empty seats.
Yeah. Guess who won't be going? Marcus and Josh.
Hey man,
It's like a
that
few games
game-
ago the season
That
was
game
over
that you
with.
guys went
Like
to
they're not gonna
was
make the
legit
playoffs.
though. That was a good ass game.
Tell your doctor I said, hey, thanks. What's up? And can I get a discount on the next one?
Hey man, we went to a Super Bowl champ game.
That was a good ass
He got
game.
injured too, didn't
What?
he? Mahomes?
Yeah, but I mean he back right now.
Yeah, no.
And he's
He
still
got-
slinging
he-
bullets.
he came-
Yeah, he's slinging them.
Yeah, but I want to let y'all know when he came to Ford Field,
Granted that
he got dealt with real quick.
granted
Well,
that,
he wasn't used to playing in that environment, Mark. Okay, but once he got his bearings, he got some traction going, and he trashed the Lions. See, go ahead and taste that pepperoni nipple.
I
You
was
big
gonna
ni-
say-
it just flopped, dude.
What,
Who's
what,
the-
con- what condition was he not used to playing in?
He wasn't used to
Indoor.
playing inside.
Inside?
He wasn't used.
He was playing inside, dude.
With no wind and
Yeah.
no cold.
He wasn't used to playing inside.
Playing inside at 70 degrees, it was too hot for him.
Because that's how I felt. That's why I said stop.
Well, since we started out with sports, we're going to skip how our weeks were. Because we're already
Hey,
half
what
hour
beer
in.
we drink?
Yeah, for real.
There's more beer.
Who's got the opener? Marlon?
Tony.
I guess so. We got the
2 times Moss.
Who bought these, man?
2-time mass.
Who bought these cookies?
Spice
I
double
did.
ale.
It was
They're
cookies.
really good, man.
Brewed with orange peel, ginger root, cinnamon.
I took one bite out of each of them to see if they were better, but
No,
this
they're
one,
straight, dude. They're
they
straight.
taste the same.
This one is a pepperoni.
Every one of them tastes the same.
Oh, Jesus.
fuck.
Yeah.
It tastes
Dude, they all taste the same except those ones.
Yo, this one's straight trash.
It was worse than the other ones.
Yeah, this one's worse. Or actually, I only tried this
I
one,
just
though.
find it
So right
funny,
now,
Marlon.
I'm
I was literally gonna say that. Marlon was like, "They taste the same."
I ate the half
You
chocolate
right.
cookie, man. That one
Literally,
was good.
they're all the
half
same
chocolate
cookie
one.
except for
Oh,
they have
I
different toppings.
No, but they're good, though. I like these kind of cookies, though.
It's like you got
I don't like
sprinkles
random shit in here,
or sprinkles with a little bit of chocolate.
No, man,
That's
these
all.
are good,
Hey,
man.
man, I ate like 4 of them.
Yeah, I like Josh over here tearing them up.
what kind of cookies are you supposed to be?
Fancy Italian cookies.
They're fancy.
They're
Italian.
what?
They're actually
Fancy Italian
Don't be
assorted
racist.
cookies.
Is there any sugar in them?
Oh, they're bland?
To me, they don't taste like anything.
Fuck that cookie tray up.
I think they taste fine.
He fucking
He just
swept
like,
them.
yeah.
They all fucking went to one side and shit. Nothing but crumbs on the other side. One side of the tray is clean as fuck. The other one got all the fucking broken cookies on it.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Open my beer.
I saw that, dude. I was just saying. Anyways, it smells good actually.
What are we moving on to?
Can I get my beer
Yeah.
opener?
Oh yeah, we gotta get the beer open.
Oh, this
It's right
smells
over there.
familiar.
Right there, Josh.
Gave it to you a long time ago. This one smells familiar.
He's too busy focused on them damn whack ass cookies.
Dude, they're straight, dude. Just the dongle one is nasty.
No, put that dongle in
Who
your
the
mouth.
fuck did this shit?
Oh,
Who the fuck bet my shit?
What do you mean?
I honestly thought it was
The
like
guy
that.
who opened up 90% of the box.
Jesus. It was not-
I had cans.
No, it's supposed to be straight.
I remember
it's
it
fucking
being-
perfectly straight.
I remember it being straight. But I got it. I was like, whoa.
There was mostly cans over here. What are you talking about? Pointing at me, you piece of shit.
Whoa,
I only opened one, and it was a cork.
Is that supposed to be strawberry in the middle?
For what?
Tastes like booty.
Was that one have a little jelly in the middle or something?
Yeah.
Tastes like
damn.
tastes like the last old Scrooge.
All right, let's get it.
Oh, I forgot yours right there.
You didn't even open yours.
I still have this, and I need to finish it.
Just literally tastes like all
You
the
got your
beers
big
that I
glass.
drank today.
What?
You got your big glass.
That's why I was like,
Yeah,
it
you're
smells
right, I guess.
familiar.
Hey, can I get the keys again?
Hell no, dude. You heard Steve?
Man, you threw right in
Jesus,
between us.
I didn't want you to
I just
drop
want to know
it.
how that happened because like
Someone bent it.
someone like must have went ham on that
Someone might have been drunk.
shit. Someone went ham on that shit.
It smells really familiar, actually. Wow. So when they say Christmas beer, they always put the same shit in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of
fucking
those- a lot of those are the
orange
ones that we
peels,
tried.
ginger, cardamom,
Orange tastes the
cinnamon, and
same.
big.
Orange, ginger,
Yeah, it's everything
cinnamon,
you just
fig.
Damn, see what happened to this thing.
All right, let's try it. Then.
Want me to try it the other
Hey, Steve, you have any recommendations for some good TV shows?
You want to just part
The
of
Witcher
this
was
instead of
pretty
open
good.
that?
Don't taste
Oh,
like
yeah,
pussy.
true.
I'm only 2 episodes in.
What did you say?
Yo, I don't even.
It tastes good.
Tastes like what?
Your
Tastes good.
thing is,
Oh, okay.
You need to probably pour that out.
Huh? Oh, what happened to my other cup? Here we go.
Anyways,
Kind of tastes a lot of clove in there actually.
Anyways, how was
Even though it's
Witcher?
like the last thing on there, I actually do kind of taste
I-
a lot of clove.
that's pretty strong.
Like so far, the 2 episodes that I watched. I did not.
I
get
haven't
to-
watched any episodes.
The first episode. I mean,
I know nothing about the game,
Tell the viewers what you guys are talking about.
The Witcher,
The Witcher.
The Witcher.
Netflix series,
I have not watched it yet.
Have you played the game?
8 episodes long, an
Got
hour
the game,
long.
I haven't played it.
I do have the game, but
I might get it for the Switch.
You
actually,
played
and
The
try it.
Witcher as much as you played Star Wars.
Ooh, little buddy, cheap shots. No.
Yeah, man.
Hey.
Yeah, I was like, I was about to say, yeah. How is Star Wars?
Good, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's the opening like?
Wait, the movie or the game?
Because we'll
The
get to the
game.
movie later.
Well, I watched a show called Soundtrack, Netflix original.
No one else watched that though.
Didn't even know that was a show.
Well, I recommend it.
Really?
Yeah.
What,
Out of
what's it
1 out of 10.
It's kind of like almost like 13 Reasons Why, where it takes different perspective.
Can't do it.
I don't know how I feel about that.
But but each episode they like kind of lip sync like a popular song.
Just someone commit suicide.
I don't know yet.
Wait,
does everyone reflect on their decisions of what they did to this girl?
Yeah, I was about to say, isn't 13 Reasons Why about like a...
Suicide.
Depends on which season you're talking about.
Yeah, well, yeah. The first season, girl commits suicide and leaves tapes to different people.
I just said it's each episode's a different person's perspective.
It's on my side. It's way over here. What's your feet doing way over here?
He just kicked me too, man.
Well, okay, well, going back to The Witcher. Tony, did you figure out that there are different timelines?
I was
Yeah.
so angry right
You were able to tell within like the first 2 episodes?
Yeah, because I played the game,
Oh,
so I kind of knew.
oh okay. Because I was like watching, I was like watching the first episode, and I was like, I don't think.
Plus, it made sense to me. Like, I mean, again, I played the game, so I kind of understood like how the storyline went.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
like
'cause
when they
there's,
were
like-
switching back between.
There's-
The Witcher. No, I don't think I did.
You're
I'm like pretty close.
You're
though.
pretty much following in the show you're following like 3 different storylines. You're following the Witcher guy, and then the one chick who becomes a mage, and then you're following that princess.
Spoilers.
You find those all out in like the first episode.
I haven't seen the first episode.
Steve, you ever played The Witcher?
No. But you're like following these storylines, and I'm like, in the first episode, I'm like, I don't know if these are in the same timeline. I don't think these are happening at the same time.
Dude, get on your side. You like kick the shit out of my
I thought the show was pretty entertaining at least.
Yeah, like
how
at
long
first,
Worth watch.
at first
How
I
many
didn't.
episodes?
The 8.
There's 8
How
episodes,
long
an
are
hour
these?
long.
Oh, hour, yeah. At first, I was kind of meh, but then at the end of that first episode where they did that fight scene with him and the chick, I was like, yo, this shit is fucking dope. Because I was waiting for something like that. I was just like, man, these fights are very generic. Like, the war was, I felt like, it was just
Does it follow the games?
I mean,
a little bit,
I don't know. You'd have to ask someone.
kind of.
Okay.
I mean, like, I think the actor, what's the name? Henry
Cavill. Superman.
Yeah, Superman. He
Superman.
Kal-El.
he plays Geralt really well, in my opinion. Yeah, he does a really good job of that. I think he
Yeah,
you play the game and
to
then you
play
watch
it
the
for
show, like you're just like,
Wait, just Witcher 3?
yeah. Well, I mean, Geralt's in Witcher 2. He's the same
Yeah, I was gonna
character,
say. So I was wondering if did you play Witcher 2?
a little bit. I didn't finish that either, but like he plays that character really well. Like his mannerisms and stuff. I was like, yep.
All right, dude. He probably had to play Witcher 3.
I mean, he's a big video game player, so
Superman is a big video gamer?
yeah. Like when he got hired for I forgot if it was Mission Impossible or Superman. He almost didn't get the role because he was playing World of Warcraft. That's in his interview. That's what he said.
That's why Steve likes him, dude.
Steve,
I didn't even know that.
But now I like
can
The
you
Witcher even
confirm?
more.
Did that get your nips hard?
No.
Yeah. Pointy.
Whoa, he likes WoW?
You got them pyramids going.
Going off topic. If you play Final Fantasy, you can return from now till the 16th of January for 5 days for free. Just
Lame.
putting that out there.
What?
Lame.
Lame. But yeah,
Come from the
one
wild
final
heads.
note
I was about
with
to say, dude.
one final note with
playing
Witcher
Pun intended.
was it's already been renewed for a second season before it even like got released.
Hey, what's up?
And
What's up, girl? What's your name?
at the end of it, I was like, oh yeah,
It's
I can see
Elise
why there's a
JBO2.
second season.
Chill, dude.
They've most definitely like opened it up for like a second
She
season.
didn't say
Like,
hi to
oh,
me.
Hey, what's the J?
He said she didn't say hi to me.
Yeah, what's the J
Hey, what's the
stand
J?
I think it's Joe, right?
Jane?
Jane.
Jeanette.
Jeanette?
Her middle name is my mom's name.
Oh,
for? Jim?
That is eerie.
Isn't that crazy?
That's some like Twilight.
It's meant to be, dude. She's meant to have these kids by me.
Twilight or
I'm drunk. That's a joke. I'm sorry.
Hey,
Worse.
Mark, if
I'll take it.
you could say one
Drunk.
Oh,
if you could say one thing to your fans right now, Mark, what would it be?
Lions suck.
that's rude.
But am I lying?
But it's so true.
We're not allowed to say that.
But am I lying?
I'm not gonna say whether you're lying or not. Just don't fucking say
Look,
it.
man.
Hey, look,
I
I'm a Lion.
Ride or die for life.
I'm a Lions fan, but you can't tell me I'm lying.
The truth hurts.
Look, let's
Are we working with Brown?
let's get into something else, man.
Actually, we are.
Star Wars?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I
Brown
heard
don't do
that-
better. Than
New
us.
topic.
I heard there was a new Star Wars movie out.
I've seen it.
I did not.
I also saw it.
Damn, man.
Oh, we about to screw.
Ah,
Hey,
just
he's
continue.
actually pretty drunk, so he won't even remember.
Yeah, just go with it. Yeah, I am pretty drunk.
All right, take a quick swig with me, dude. Before we check on mine.
Yeah, let's go.
Right? Just a quick swig.
go around
Quick
and-
swig. Quick swig.
All right.
Do you
Let's
do you
go
even
around
rate,
and
rate
give
this
our
beer?
ratings. I think I told you guys the other day. I gave it a 7.
That's spicy. Huh?
Josh, what did you give it?
I give it a 6.
I was like, we kind of drunk. I was like, say something in the chat. We kind of drunk.
Yeah,
Wow,
we kind
guys.
of drunk. Sorry, Elise, we drunk.
No, I'm perfect.
So we got a 7 mark and a 6. What are you giving it, Mark?
You got 6?
I gave it a 6. I'm sick of Christmas beers.
I am too, but
What?
He was pissed. See, about to punch him in the forehead.
I said I'm sick of Christmas.
I was talking about Star Wars.
I know he was.
Oh, I was
Wait, you
talking
gave
about
Star
the
Wars.
beer.
Wait, hold on. Now I'm lost. What did you give the
All
beer?
right, the beer.
The beer?
Go for
I
beer
gave the
first.
beer.
I was talking about Star Wars.
I'm about to get at Josh like a 6, motherfucker.
Mother. Yo, that reminded me.
Oh, no, I gave Star Wars a 5.
Black Dynamite. So
I give this a 5.
I'm gonna just go home. How about that?
Beer's a 5.
Beer's a 6.
That's not fair though, because we drink 12.
Yeah, I was literally. My vote was. I honestly can't.
Well, this
feel
one
like I
is
voted properly.
It's stronger, not as strong as one of those ones that tastes like shit that you guys liked. But it was it's strong.
You went hard to pay,
Yeah,
man.
no, man.
No, it was the frog one. The one you guys gave like was it an 8?
I would give this one a 7
This one?
almost.
Oh,
No,
that's not a frog one.
No.
Where's the
But
frog one?
I'm only saying that
Oh, that
because
one?
I have
Oh.
this nasty ass cookie to
it was
balance
the one
it
that was
out.
really strong, but you guys liked it, and I thought it tasted like shit.
I give it a
Bottom
7.
half.
Then.
Paired with a bad cookie, it's a 7. Without the cookie, it's a 5.
Oh, jeez.
So wait, the bad cookie makes it better?
It does. Because you know, like a little bit, like it's like you're drinking black coffee with a donut, right?
Yeah, he bit the cookie. He's like, oh, this shit is trash. Oh, this shit is trash too, though. But the beer is better than the trash cookie. The trash beer is better than the trash cookie.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't judge this properly. I'm pretty drunk.
Try a little bit of that and try a little bit of the cookie. See what happens.
Nah,
Wait,
man.
cookie first, then the drink.
Cookie first, and then try
Okay.
that. Okay. So you got a little bit of disappointment, right? You're choking slightly. You're slightly choking. Okay. If you're watching this,
Mouth's a
he's
little
actively
dry.
dying.
You need some
He's actively
something
dying.
to wash it
How do
down.
you
Now
with.
wash it down with that.
We got water though. I don't understand why this is such a secret.
Stop it.
Actually, Marlon's right there. The beer does taste better with the cookie.
I'm serious. Just try a little bit of the cookie.
My man is not lying.
Mark, do it.
Try a little bit
I
of the
still got a little bit of this trash cookie left though.
That
Trash cookie makes the
that-
trash beer better.
Does the cookie have to be in my mouth?
I mean, I
Just
finished
finish
it. Yeah, I finished it. Well, I took a little bit, but yeah, it does. I think it's because honestly, kind of the little bit of sweetness does it have, kind of enhances the beer a little bit.
Nope, I like the cookie better.
I give this beer a 6.
Alright, that's what I think,
Yeah, with the cookie, it's a 7. Without it, it's a 5.
yeah. That cookie made everything bad.
You know what? This might be our best podcast yet.
And this is the
beer.
worst podcast yet.
Yeah, but on the other note, this might be our worst podcast
Yeah,
yet.
this might be the best podcast yet. And then he says, this might be the worst podcast yet. He's like, No, the beer, I give it a 7, man.
I give it a 6.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to 6.
5.
She said no more drinking.
All right, so it's a 5.
She did it. Or she personally texted that
She
you.
got my number though.
Wow. Are you guys cool?
We more than cool.
I was like, well, she did it.
He looked at me like she wasn't supposed to text me.
Yeah.
She said, "No more drinking, guys." He's like, "She ain't even say that. Dude, you lying?" I was like,
Why you always lying?
12 years. I think she's allowed to have my number, Tony. He looked at the TV like that was like that was the rule. He said,
Yeah, man.
"No, she didn't."
No. You guys haven't.
It only
got
counts if it's on the TV, right?
you guys haven't got the second base yet.
What was it, say third, fourth? I'm just
You hit a
edit
home
that
run?
for real.
I said you hit a home run?
How many home runs have you hit? 2. Out of the pod.
I was like, all right, this is about to be something a little light. Whoops. I'm joking. All right, so Star Wars.
Maybe you should
Appropriate.
try batting right-handed, Mark.
Oops.
Shit. No, I'm just joking.
Ah, shit. That one went too far. Gosh.
That was a complete accident. Yo, catch that!
No.
She did.
Home run. Oh! You nasty, man.
Jeez, I was trying to keep that one in the park.
Honestly,
Wait, what did she
this
catch?
motherfucker. She got a lot. So Star Wars. Star Wars.
They find later.
Nah, dude, I got tomorrow off.
All right, Josh. what do you give Star Wars?
That's an all.
Do I give Star
We're
Wars?
playing some Slaughter Chef tonight, so I'm
Yeah.
here.
I give it a regular 7.
I fight, dude. We only fight when I go to bed.
All right, Mark.
I gotta go to bed tonight.
Mark, I'm guessing that's a 10 for you, right? Or what do you give Star Wars?
Star Wars. 7.
Dang.
Okay, we're gonna talk about this.
The good and the bad, and all the bad.
Wait, what'd you give it?
The Good, the Bad, and the Knights
A
of
7.
Ren.
You gave it a
Around the
7?
corner.
7 and 7.
Yeah,
3
Knights
sevens.
of-
Not doing nothing.
Marlon?
I'm so mad,
I
dude.
give Star Wars.
Sorry, Tony.
Wait.
We getting into this.
Was my really? Oh.
6.
Okay.
6? All right.
So was my theory right when I said last week
What was your theory?
that they'll show up, do some cool shit, but
Wrong.
then get
Wrong.
Okay. Oh, they didn't do any cool
Can I
shit. They
say
just got
something
slaughtered.
first?
They literally showed up around the corner. And we're like, yeah, we're around the corner. Okay.
First of all, Knights of Ren
All right, we're around the
always
corner
around
again.
the corner,
They're just all around
which
the
was
corner.
weird as fuck. Because they didn't do nothing. They were just always around the corner. They like peek around the corner. They'd just be standing there.
They would like
Nothing
walk around the
after
corner
that.
and then be like, yeah, we're here.
Like in the desert
Yeah,
part.
we're here.
He like looked around that rock, and the Knights of Ren were right there. And then there's just this big battle between Rey and whatever, and that was it. There was no Knights of Ren doing nothing, and everything was pretty convenient in the movie. Like,
Extremely
I
convenient.
found this dagger. Oh, I landed in the exact spot where I need to match the map up on my dagger.
Yeah,
to
that was
be
like
able
the
to
funny thing,
line
'cause, like-
up with the
Like the
Death
way
Star.
that dagger would work, like if you were like 100 yards to the left or whatever, it wouldn't be quite the same. I mean, you probably would figure it out, but it's like it
The
wouldn't
only
be
reason,
exact the same.
the only reason why I didn't like look at that too much, there's other things that I looked at. It was just like, what? I didn't look at that too much because everyone knows that that's where the Death Star went down, right? So what if that was like the only place where like he made that dagger that way because that was the only place that was as close as you can get to the Death Star.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It would make sense because like if you're looking at the Death Star,
Yeah.
you're like, okay, where's like the command center
Right.
part, and that's pretty
But-
much where they went.
I agree. The Knights of Ren ruined the movie for me.
Now there were a few cool parts with the Knights of
I'm about
Ren,
to go watch
where she
Jumanji
took the
instead.
lightsaber. Where she
That
took the
was pretty funny.
lightsaber, Mark.
If they talk about that, yo,
That
if
was a
this
good-ass
Mark,
movie.
Steve, and Josh is talking about it like this, I might just go see Jumanji.
No, see,
That's
opted
actually a
to-
pretty good movie.
Yeah, I actually
Go see it.
opted to watch Jumanji instead
No.
of that, and I like that.
Go watch Star Wars, dude, and then like,
you ain't really
and then
convincing
like
me right now.
go late, and then like get Jumanji for free.
But
I'm just joking. We don't condone that.
there was a few really cool parts where she dropped the lightsaber because they can like apparently teleport items back and
Nope.
forth between each other.
That didn't make any sense to me. I'm pissed.
It was
How are
sweet
you
though.
teleport? It was cool.
It was
I mean,
cool.
they did that in the second movie.
They did
What?
when they were talking to each other in the second movie too.
No, but they never. It was just all like telekinetic, like psychic. It wasn't like
They
I could actually
teleported
touch.
something teleported like water mist or something like that or something like teleported in the second one.
Besides, they could like touch each other too, which
I don't remember that. You talking about in the Last Jedi? They could.
yeah.
I don't remember, but sure. I know they could see each other, but they could always.
It
do
can't,
that.
like progressively got stronger and stronger.
Sure, I'll subscribe. To
Also, Kylo Ren is a punk still.
that. I ain't gonna let you talk to Ben Solo like that, dude.
Oh, so that's what we're calling him?
Well,
Oh, never mind.
one of my biggest things is like apparently like force powers like
He's
were
like-
not consistent at all throughout this shit. Like
What do you mean?
she's like you see her in
Dude.
the beginning, she's struggling.
She's struggling to fight this little ball in the woods, dude, and then all of a sudden she can pull ships off the sky.
Yeah, she like all of a sudden she's just like and she's like pulling down the ship.
She wasn't struggling with the ball until Kylo was trying to connect with her. So I'm not counting that.
But Kylo was right next to her when she was trying to pull on the ship, dude.
No, was she? That's why they did when she was doing the obstacle course.
Well, I'm just saying like okay,
progressively, like she was blocking the shots and doing the obstacle course, right? And then Kylo started trying to find her and connect with her, and then she started getting distracted.
my
But he was
my
right
inconsistencies are like the fact that all of a sudden she has like great burst of power, and then all of a sudden she can do stuff that I'm like, how did she learn how to do that? Like what? Like the force healing thing? Where did she learn that from?
Training with Leia. Was it easy? What else you got?
He said training with Leia. It was
Where
easy.
she learned to pull a ship out the sky.
Yeah. And
Who did that? What do you mean?
And do
Force pull.
and she was doing the lightning stuff. She's like, I was on,
No, she didn't do that on purpose though.
but she did it.
She didn't know that she could pull a whole ship, but she knew how to force pull. So when she put her hand out there, she's like it's like when you know you can like pull something, but you've never tried to pull a whole ship. So I'm gonna try it. So Kylo Ren was like challenging her, and then she accidentally did that shit. And
I think that was also a surprise to her.
yeah, it was a surprise to her too.
Well, I'm
I
not
think
saying
the
that wasn't a
lightning
surprise,
portion was
but
a
like
surprise to her,
then you
I
go
don't
to
know.
like
That was a surprise to me. I was
You're
like,
asking why
shit,
she's
she's
able
not
to do
supposed
that?
to be
then
doing that.
you go to Palpatine, and he's fucking lightning the whole fucking sky and able to destroy like all the fucking ships, and then he goes to her and she can just like block that shit.
I feel like those
easy.
ships are falling for a while
Like,
too
what?
before he stopped lightning.
What do you mean?
Like they were falling out the sky.
And Palpatine didn't learn his lesson the first time when he died from lightning. Like, I'm gonna shoot you with lightning,
Alright.
and then the second time I'm gonna shoot you with lightning. I didn't learn my lesson. I'm just
Finally,
gonna
you
kill
guys-
myself. with
Finally,
lightning
you
again.
guys make a good point.
Dude,
Like I was like blocking all these points. Like, what are y'all talking about? That is the main thing. Like, stop force lightning people. If you just gonna keep getting your ass whooped.
Dude.
He got
Even-
peeled
even-
back like a banana, dude.
Dude, you didn't learn your lesson with
He got
Mace.
fucking peeled back.
He's like, now this time he's like, yo, stop shooting lightning out your fingers if you're gonna keep killing yourself. You gotta stop. You gotta
Like, as
stop.
soon as he realized that she was like blocking it, he should
Stop!
have like stopped. Be like, oh, I learned my lesson that first time.
He said, I am all the Sith. She said, yo, I'm all the Jedi. He's like, I was like, again?
Dude, even Ezra, he saw that movie. He was like,
Didn't this happen to him last
she
time?
basically like blocked the lightning back to him, right? So he basically hurt himself and just goes like,
Josh was
yeah.
like, yeah, that's what happened.
And then he was like, well, that wasn't a good idea.
Yo, for being like one of the strongest Sith, Palpatine is dumb. You gotta stop.
He's all the Sith.
I am all the Sith. Hey, and he was all like, yeah, you kill me, then you become all the Sith. And then he just like drains their lives and is like, I am not all the Sith.
Yeah, like, I don't know, man. There's so many
You're
things
like,
that
because he was saying like they're like connected, so that
This
I
all
stole
happened
your
in 3 minutes.
yeah.
yeah, that's what I was telling Marlon earlier today. I was like, all right, so maybe I ruined it for myself, but the ending was super anticlimactic. Did I
Palpatine,
expect...
I feel like Palpatine just came out of fucking nowhere. Like,
And why did
In
they
the
start
third
making
movie.
out? That was weird.
That was weird. That was weird. That was weird.
I kind of saw it coming though.
Yeah, it was coming for sure. It was coming for sure.
She's like, I did want to take your hand
I have one question then.
as Ben Solo.
Yeah, I want to take your hand as Ben Solo.
Will there be another Star Wars movies that continues after
No.
this?
No,
No.
this was the last
That
one.
was the last one.
If
That's
there's
why-
any more, it's gonna be like
It's an
offshoots.
Side story, yeah.
or side story, or if there's gonna be like another mainstream Star Wars movie, it's gonna be like a whole new story. So this was supposed to be. Rumor has it that this was supposed to
The
be like the end of the
Skywalker
Skywalker saga.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I was expecting this one to be like top notch. This is gonna end the whole story, right, from 1977, right? This is supposed to end the Skywalker saga.
It
It
did.
ended this
It ended it.
I feel like they just created a bad guy and then destroyed him all in the same movie. Like, you know what I mean?
He figured out the.
Yeah,
we were talking about that earlier today too. Like he found like the way how to stay immortal forever, and that dude looked like shit.
Yeah.
Is that what you want?
It was just kind of weird how like
He was all kinds of hooked
like
up
no
too.
one thought Palpatine was like the guy behind everything, you know.
So if you know anything about like Star Wars lore, there's like some books on Darth Plagueis, which is supposed to be the ultimate Sith, and that's Darth Sidious's master, right? Darth Plagueis is supposed to be the first Sith that figures out immortality. Darth Sidious kills Plagueis, or he learns the immortality, kills Plagueis. Here we are, right? So no one saw it coming because we knew that Darth Sidious died in Empire Strikes Back, right? And then boom, it's just like, oh, okay, so he did learn Plagueis's immortality. Here he is.
Well, I didn't
But-
think he learned anything about immortality. I think he just cloned himself, didn't he? Like I thought the whole thing was he was a clone.
Yeah, yeah. In this
Pretty
movie,
sure I'm pretty sure he.
they implied like with
That-
like the screenshots of like all the deformity and pretty much like Snoke was like a deformed clone
Yeah.
type thing, and then
Right, but he said that because he had all of Palpatine's like old memories and all his powers and stuff. So the key, who knows what the key to immortality is? But if it's a clone, if he cloned himself, sure, Snoke was a clone, but Palpatine still had all his powers, right? So when he sucked the life out of Rey and Ben, like he had that Force lightning. Like we all know that Palpatine was like strong with the Force lightning shit, and he was like the strongest Sith. And 1 and 2, they were looking for the Emperor, right? Trying to figure out who it was because they knew that there was a strong Sith out there, but they were just trying to figure out who it was. Mm-hmm. So the fact that he had all those powers still, and I know he was like recuperating, but he wanted Rey to slay him so he can like transfer whatever he did. He transferred his soul into his clone
body,
or whatever.
yeah.
Like when he said Plagueis figured out the key to immortality. If that was it, then sure, let it be, right? He transfers, uses the Force to transfer his soul or whatever into the next strong, Force user or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So, and Marlon was raising a good point earlier too. He's like, why would he announce that if that was the plan? He's like, she came there to kill him anyway, right? So
I'm gonna kill you. Yes, kill me so I can take over your bod.
Right.
Give you that brain sucker jutsu. Okay, I'm not gonna do that then. What? No, you must kill me. No, you just told me not to.
Why
Fuck
would he
you.
announce it? I don't know why he would announce it, but I just assume that maybe like he's strong in the Force like Yoda was, so he could, or like Anakin was, so he can like see. He had like a future sight kind of, so he knew that she was gonna be pissed enough to come and kill him anyway. So he was like, "Yes, slay me, so my body can take over." Like he saw it already, so he knew it was gonna happen. But then Ben coming there kind of changed everything. Maybe I don't know.
He also like persuaded her too. Like all your friends up there dead.
Yeah, like
you want to get me and you so I can so you can tell them to stop.
Yeah, like
so I can kill them anyway.
Everything he was saying was like happening. Like everybody's up there. Like he opened the sky. Like he was like in the perfect place. She came. He opened the sky. She saw her friends dying. Like he probably saw it. He had the future sight thing, so he knew it was gonna happen, right? So I would say that didn't ruin it for me. I agree. Why would he announce it? That's dumb. But he probably already saw it, so we'll go with that, right? The number one thing that killed it for me. You're the Knights of Ren. Why are you not prepared for this man to have a lightsaber? Like, he showed up without a lightsaber. I get it, right? But you've ran the galaxy with this guy. So why don't your weapons... Remember the guys in Last Jedi? They had, like, the laser-edged weapons so they can, like, battle the lightsabers?
It was not even in that one. It was in Force Awakens. The Stormtrooper guys had...
the electric things.
Yeah.
Why did they come at him with regular weapons? These are the Knights of Ren.
Shouldn't they all be Force users too, anyway?
Yeah. Why did he dispose of him so quickly?
Yeah.
I'm not even going to get on how she teleported the lightsaber to him. But
What'd you think of her lightsaber?
Well, that's another thing too. Is like these Force powers are just like coming out of nowhere. I'm like, all of a sudden they're just like super strong. Like these are like ridiculously strong like Force users.
They said that she was like one of the strongest like Force users in history, but I actually looked up this is all fan fiction because that's all Star Wars ever is, because George Lucas, he literally wrote these like 6 scripts and then just like that was it, right? All these other novels and books are just like fan fictions or like other writers.
He had to approve them though, didn't he?
Right, he had to approve them, but like the books on like Mace Windu and his history and Yoda and his history, all that stuff,
Yoda
they're not like
have a history.
I bet you Google it. There's a book out there, not by George Lucas, but yeah, by other writers. But she's I can subscribe to the fact that she's progressively getting stronger. But I agree. I have an issue with being able to physically teleport, using the Force to physically teleport an object to somebody else, because it's never been done, right? You've only seen somebody Force pull a lightsaber or Force throw a lightsaber. Has anyone ever teleported a lightsaber to somebody?
Nope.
Where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, even I've looked at lists of like.
Well, also like the Force healing. Like I know there was like that was like
that's
in,
the
like,
thing.
That was like in games and
that's
and they just like showed it in the Mandalorian.
But we were talking about this.
But like in like the normal movies, that wasn't part of it. So like all of a sudden it just came out of nowhere. If you were just watching the main like story and you're like, what the fuck?
So you're telling me that she's the strongest like Force user in history so far, and she can just do all these things, right? fine, I guess.
I guess it kind of like it almost falls in line with kind of like how what happened in the previous movie with Leia, where she like got blasted out of the fucking thing into space, and all of a sudden she's just like, not yet, baby.
And that's what I was
And
telling
she like floats back to the fucking ship.
Because Elise was like, did she like train or something? I'm like, apparently, because they gave us that little clip.
Well, I know because there's supposed to be like a small period, like a year or something, whatever, between the two movies. So she had time to train or whatnot, but it's like, where are you learning?
Are you talking about after like 6? After Return of the Jedi?
From like, from 8 to 9. There's like, I think a year or I don't know how long, but yeah.
The clip that we saw was supposed to be after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, like 3 to 4.
Because Luke was still young. They used the movie magic shit to make him look like the old Luke, right? So I'm like, all right, what was it, like 30 years or something like that?
I'm saying the time that Rey has to like train from like the last movie to this one. No, for Rey has to train from like.
Oh, you're talking about Rey training.
So Rey training. So she has some time to train to learn some things, but.
I'm talking about Leia. How did Leia know to train her? And then they gave us the clip where it's like, oh, okay, after Return of the Jedi, when Luke kills Darth Vader, he's like, I'm going to start my own Jedi temple and, like, start over, right? Mm-hmm. So they gave us that little clip, that little 10-second clip of Luke and Leia training. I'm like, oh.
She did some basic training.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. But she's supposed to be, like, super strong in the Force because she had this foresight that Anakin had. Because then what did she tell Luke? She's like, I'm not going to finish this, but somebody... years later
at the end of my training, I could see my son dying or whatever.
Yeah, so someone will pick up. There's gonna be somebody who picks up where I left off or whatever.
Oh, one thing I had an issue with was that in that training montage thing, or training thing, like Leia had a green lightsaber, and
that was
and then when Rey had her lightsaber, it was blue, and I was like, well, it's not supposed to be green.
Yeah, I think the whole thing was weird because
they were both blue, and I was like,
of lightsabers was like confusing.
I did like her final one though.
Yeah, her final one was sweet.
Yeah, where'd she get that from?
She made it.
She made a new one.
Mm-hmm. You know how it goes, right? All right, good. Yeah.
So she just found a yellow crystal. She was like, all right, that's mine. I
Also,
found this dope ass hilt too from the last raid that I did, and
I
made sure that I got it because I didn't invite some other class or anything like that. So I got to, okay.
She ninja looted it.
Wow, dude, are you serious?
You didn't
think this guy quit Star Wars because of me?
You didn't think I was gonna go back to that?
No, I didn't think so.
Let's play slut ball. What were you gonna say?
Let's play slut ball. No, her lightsaber was sweet, but yeah, like Josh was saying, like I was trying to tell Marlon this earlier, like. She probably read it from the books. She had the books, right? Because how would she know to go back and, when you're a young Padawan, part of your training is finding your crystal and building your own lightsaber, right? How did she know that? But then I was like, okay, she had the books, so let's just chop it up to the books, right? She read the books and she's like, oh, I'm gonna go to Coruscant.
Where did she get those books from?
The island that.
But
Luke was on.
Didn't Yoda like burn that shit down?
Yeah, but I think she grabbed them before. She grabbed some of the books out before.
Cause I know like Luke was about to burn it down, and then Yoda was like, "I'm gonna lightning it." He's like,
"Yeah." Luke was having second thoughts, and Yoda was like, psh, psh. He's like, "Master, what are you doing?" He's like, "Man, sit down."
I'm burning it.
Yeah, I'm burning it. You don't need this crap. No, I think she took because remember she had some of the books in the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, okay.
In that drawer. So.
What about the whole thing with the ships at the end where they had that satellite?
That was like dumb as shit.
And you then all of a sudden, the ship that's like every other ship was the only one that could broadcast that signal to get out.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they couldn't just like send out that signal to everybody so they could all broadcast all the way out. But that was kind of
why wouldn't you?
I just thought that was like convenient and stupid. That like, oh, when they're that low, they need help to get out. These super advanced ships that have like.
World Destroyers.
Destroyer, Star Destroyer.
Each ship had a Star Destroyer. I was like, yo, Palpatine wasn't playing.
Yeah. But they can't leave orbit. It's like, what?
Yeah.
And
go up.
Also the whole thing.
They don't know which way is up.
Also, the whole thing about that one chick who was left on that planet. She gave him the only coin to get off of it. Or whatever to get out of it, and then all of a sudden, dude, they blew up her planet, and she was like out of there, saved. Yeah, it was just so.
I was like, oh, she's dead, and then the Chewbacca thing. It's like, oh, you're gonna make me think that Chewbacca's dead, and then 2 minutes later, oh, he's not dead. Like there was no payoff.
Yeah,
it wasn't
man.
like an extended amount of time that you're like, oh, he's
Yeah,
dead.
call me morbid or call me like jacked up, but like I think
Should have been a lot more.
It's like all these
Chewie
people.
actually dying probably would.
There's a lot of people in this movie that
Should have been a
that-
lot more deaths.
there was a lot of people in this movie that died, but didn't die, because you got like Chewbacca who died, well he didn't really die. All right, and then you got C-3PO, he died, but he got backed up, and then you got Ren who got stabbed and died, but really didn't.
Yo, she didn't. I think so. I'm gonna give that one a pass because I think that was just to show us how far she would actually go.
No, but I'm saying like you
She
know
went far.
like people died and then they came back. Like they like
Well,
there
if she didn't fucking res him, she would have died too.
You think so?
Yeah, the one death that
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
make sense like actually happened.
Yeah, I was upset about that. Yeah, I was upset about that.
That was
So,
Yeah, that
bad.
makes sense, yeah.
are you guys okay with Leia like joining the Force too? Does that make
was
sense?
fine.
I don't know. That was weird for me that they both disappeared at the same time.
Who
and-
taught her to do that?
Luke did.
who
do
taught
it in
him
their
to do
training.
that.
Yeah, who taught any of the Jedi Masters to do that?
I just thought like you just
You look. Yoda says it in Attack of the Clones, Episode 2. When Obi-Wan, or no, sorry, Episode 3. Oh Jesus, when Yoda loses to Palpatine and Obi-Wan thought he killed Anakin, he goes back to the ship and he's like, or no, before they left, right? He said, "When you get done, come back because I want to show you a trick that Qui-Gon." I was talking to Qui-Gon and he was like, "Qui-Gon, he died to Darth Maul." He was like, but he learned a trick, and it was supposed to be the Force Ghost thing. So Yoda learned it from Qui-Gon. Yoda teaches Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan apparently teaches Luke. I don't know. And then Luke teaches Leia?
I mean, might as well.
But I mean, the thing about that though is like
Wouldn't you teach
all,
your
all
family?
the all the Jedi's are in the Force thing because when like
Oh, man. You
when
hear that,
Rey-
Steve? Do you hear that shit, dude? Yeah, that's
what-
the hypest part of the movie.
when Rey started, like you hear everyone, you're like
You heard everybody.
the same Jedi.
He's like, Dad's like, get up, Ray.
Did you hear
Get up.
Qui-Gon?
You hear Anakin? He's like, Ray, get up. I was like, Alicia was like, what? I was like, stop, listen. It's everybody. It's everyone.
It's all.
Yoda was like, get up. You know, I was like, oh, dude. He's like, I'm all the Sith. Oh. She's like, she got up. She's like, I'm all the Jedi. I was like, yo, dude.
She's like blacking with one, and then she's like, she pulls the other one. It's like,
Dude, you hear everybody, dude.
You hear
That's
Qui-Gon?
pull that second blue one. up.
Yeah, did you hear Qui-Gon? No? Oh, I heard Liam Neeson's. Dude, Anakin was like, Ray, get up. I was like, ooh. What I didn't understand is you see Luke and Leia at the end, and he's like, Ray?
Would
Ray
it-
who? She's like,
Would you rather have Darth Vader come back than Palpatine?
no. Because Darth Vader died as a good guy. Which is why you see his Force Ghost at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Would you rather have a different enemy than Palpatine?
No, me and Marlon are talking about this too. I'll take it. I'll take the twist. She's Palpatine's granddaughter, sure.
I
I'll
like
take
that
it.
twist.
I'll take it.
I have no issue with that, but the fact that he
I feel like it
wasn't-
was added.
Oh, sorry, Tony. Shit.
Probably won't watch the movie too.
What?
On Netflix or Disney Plus.
Dude, come on, Tony.
that I'm,
Jumanji was a good movie, alright? I'm pretty satisfied with that.
so the thing I had an issue with is like the fact that all of a sudden he's just like in the third movie. Like there was no like hint of him in the
Yeah.
other movies.
That's what I was saying. Is
Because
like
I feel like the second one really.
If you would have
Fuck up.
gave me the fact that if you would have hit me with something at the end of Last Jedi, like, oh shit, Palpatine's still alive.
or
I'd
even
have found
or
that.
even if she found out she was Palpatine's daughter, like in the last one, or her
fine
granddaughter.
with that.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, bam, he's back.
still alive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, we probably would have clowned that though, honestly. Because if she finds out she's Palpatine's granddaughter, then boom, and we would have been able to guess that he's still alive in the last one, right? It would have just made sense.
I just think
I think
there
they
needed
changed
to be
it.
some
She was
kind of
supposed
like
to be
hint.
Luke and Leia's daughter.
They needed to have some kind of.
Everybody guessed it.
Yeah.
Everybody guessed it. That's nasty, by the way.
I think they just needed a hint in like the second one.
That's
that,
why
like,
they dropped
he
her
was-
off at the island, dude.
he was still
Or
alive.
thing.
Yeah.
That wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah, because at that point, like I was telling Marlon, like I wasn't expecting when you see him, and it's just like, oh shit, this motherfucker really figured out the
I don't know.
The funny thing is too, it's like, yeah, if he's like a clone,
yeah.
why does he look so fucked up? Like,
He did say clone. I thought he was just cloning parts though to get back because like didn't he explode or some shit in Emperor Strikes Back? So I thought they were cloning parts to put back in him, but he still looked like a fucking zombie.
Yeah, like I'm just saying, like if you think about it, like if you cloned yourself, like any type of scars or anything like that would not be there. It'd be like your normal, younger, healthier self.
So that's why Marlon was like he's hooked up to all that shit. I thought they were like cloning parts of him to get him back to one piece, but because he was like missing fingers and shit still.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was still Palpatine. So, I don't know. Whatever the fucking immortality spell or whatever it is.
He just needed to suck the life force out of those two things.
Yeah, because he was healing. Yeah, he was healing. Maybe force healing is like, is that a Sith thing? I don't know because you never see anybody else but Rey do it.
Yoda, Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
Oh, from Mandalorian.
Yeah,
that's true.
Maybe Baby Yoda's bad.
Yeah, he's an evil.
Evil Sith.
Well, we'll find
Hey,
out. There's only one more episode.
Speaking of Mandalorian,
Yeah.
finally some story, dude. We made it to the end.
Shut up.
We get back to the main story, dude.
That's a good show, dude.
No, I was literally after like not the last episode, the episode before that. I was like, okay, this show is just a random ass show where he just goes on adventures, man. It's like a video game, dude. It's like a different quest every time.
I agree with you,
And then,
but I'm okay with that.
yeah, well, no, I wasn't gonna say it was bad. I was like, you know what? If you accept it, it's fine. Whatever. It's just a cool show where he goes on a.
Oh, jeez.
Where he goes on a
Here comes
quest.
Steve, dude.
It was funny because like,
5-star
we
TV
were-
That's all. I
provider.
already told Marlon the other day. I was like, Marlon's like, what do you give it? I'm like, a 5.
Oh, hell no, dude. What?
There's no story to it.
After the last episode,
It's exactly what you explained. It's exactly what you explained as it is. There is no story. It's just him going on things. Because that's pretty much all it is. Like, you find out, oh, he's going on a mission to collect a bounty. He comes back. He flips. He decides, oh, I'm going to actually rescue this
That's
baby
the story,
Yoda.
though, dude.
And then, but you don't learn anything why those people wanted him. You don't learn any. Like, there's no
for
bad
next
guy.
year.
There's no like, oh, he's gone. And there's like some random fucking bounty hunters that are going after him.
So-
you don't like learn anything about. There's like it's all about from his perspective. There's only one perspective of the show, and it's his. So you don't get any like story from. Like,
It should have been built up where if that's how they wanted to do the first season, each season should have given a little bit more backstory on the Mandalorian. Like you see those little cutbacks where he was a kid, right? But it doesn't really explain, how he got there, how he, joined the guild, like what he did for the guild, like previously.
Do we need to see that stuff though?
If in the first season, if you're actually going to do a story where you finally meet the bad guy, this season should have been his backstory.
But what if you want to
like.
keep the Mandalorians as like a race, as like a whole race?
Well,
cult?
they
Or just wanna
actually
keep
didn't
that
they
secret?
say in like one of the episodes where he's not actually Mandalorian?
Yeah, he's not. I think, or
Didn't one of the
I forgot what
episodes?
episode it was. They were saying
It was where she was on that thing with the one chick. He was living in that little hut or whatever on that planet.
It was like the second or third episode.
How? Wait, he said himself. The second
Didn't
and third
something
episode.
say
He said
that he
he's not a
wasn't like
Mandalorian?
he wasn't a Mandalorian? Didn't somebody say that? Like she asked him like how long have you worn that helmet for or whatever,
Okay.
and then he said that he did it when he joined the Mandalorians or something like that, when the Mandalorians found him or whatever.
Yeah, because he wasn't initially like born and raised as a Mandalorian.
Because then people were like, was it you that was saying that
That's what I'm saying.
there's
no
two different
backstory that really tells
Well,
you.
that's what I was saying. I was like, there should have been a little bit more of a backstory on who he is if they wanted to go the route of where they don't want to have like a main, like
Bad
plot
guy.
point, like main bad guy. They should have like gone more into his like backstory.
So let me ask this: did you like the Mandalorian?
I like it right
I think
now.
it's okay. I'm not
I like
gonna.
it, dude.
I'm
I
not
like
gonna
it
say
right
it's
now.
like one of the best shows I've ever seen, but it's okay. I mean, I don't hate it.
Yeah, I give it a 7 or 8.
Yeah, it's
Right
like
now?
it's a basic 7.
Just-
8.
Kind of
Just
sad
a
about the
random
latest
question.
episode, but
I know that like it's kind of like comparing apples to oranges in a sense, but so do you like the Mandalorian better than the Joker movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know how I feel about Joker movies.
I mean, there was no.
I'm just saying, like, like the Mandalorian, I've pretty much gotten to the point where it's like I gave up, on waiting for something and just accepted it for what it was.
I feel like we've seen way worse shows though. This isn't even a bad show.
It's
Maybe I'm just like a Star Wars
I don't think
fanatic.
anybody's saying it's a bad show.
I think I get what Josh is saying. I think there just needs to be more character development because it's just
Yeah.
like literally, it's just a character we don't know. Like
But it's
nothing.
Star Wars though.
Like Joker.
Yeah, but I mean, but still, we don't. I mean, like, I get it. It's Star Wars, but like the thing is like
There's like
no,
characters in Star Wars that we just still to this day can't explain. Like
Yeah, but none of them were like
My-
the focus, like
my
the main
big-
character.
My biggest issue
Yeah, like I
was
mean, there's a lot of mysteries, but like
I mean, look at
this
the
is a main
Skywalker
character
saga,
where
dude.
we know
Huh?
nothing
Like I said,
about.
look at the Skywalker saga, and like
Yeah.
whole thing was Anakin. You saw him from when he was a child to
that's what
like.
we're talking about. You got to go back to watch episode 1. Dude, I love watching the Skywalker saga, man, but it just doesn't end that great for me. How is this the ending? This is what you came up with for the ending? Fuck out of here.
I mean, like this whole last Star Wars movie felt like they just kind of built it
They just want it
randomly.
for the money, bro.
Yeah, just kind of like
I
built
also
it
thought
randomly.
this last one needed to be named something else.
Rise of the Skywalker? I agree 110% with you.
Cause I was like,
fuck
the
are you
whole
talking
movie,
about?
I'm just like, okay.
They're all dead!
I'm like, all the Skywalkers are
I
dead.
feel like there was
What?
some.
What are you talking about?
I feel like there was something that they wanted to go to.
there was like a point. They were trying to make a point, but their point is fucking dumb.
I feel like there was
Well,
some story that they didn't go the route that they.
there's Ray lovers out there, so I'm sorry.
No, like, well, here's the thing, like,
That's not what I mean.
like, yeah, it's like that's fine, right? But it's like
but the lineage, you know what I'm saying,
they
right?
they could have just named it something slightly different, like something
called
just
it-
like
Rise
Oh,
of the Last Jedi.
No, because they already have Return of the Jedi. They already have Last Jedi. But Rise of Skywalker? What the fuck are you talking about?
like
Rise
I
of
don't, I
the
couldn't
Resistance.
tell you the perfect
Yeah, something-
name
or
for it,
no.
but it's like I just don't think that one like fit perfectly.
It
with it.
doesn't. It doesn't.
Rise of Skywalker.
It
I-
doesn't mean anything.
I feel like there was
It
some
doesn't mean
plot
anything.
point that they cut early on and was like, we could have gone this direction, and then they changed it completely.
Sorry, Tony. If you're telling me that you named this movie based off the fact that she was trained by Luke and then she was trained by Leia, and then when the what was the droid, right? He's like,
Dio?
yeah, it was like, Ray what? And she was like, she looked off and she saw.
It was a person.
Yeah, it
Was
was
it
a person. Yeah, it
He's
was a
like,
person.
look. She looks off and she sees Luke and Leia, and then she says, "Rey Skywalker." That's why you called it Rise of the Skywalker.
She's taking on the Skywalker
No.
lineage.
No, she's not.
Is Skywalker was
She said, "You know what? I'm
Was
gonna go
Skywalker-
through them."
Would you be happy to
Okay.
like Star Wars Ray's Awakening?
was Skywalker like
they already have Force Awakens.
was Skywalker a made up name to
Well-
begin with, or wasn't it his actual name in like the
No, it was
lineage?
Anakin Skywalker.
Was
Yeah.
that his actual like
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
last
his
name, or
actual
did he
name,
make
yeah.
like just take that on?
No,
I
Like
don't
as
remember.
he was like 10 years old in Phantom
Yeah.
Menace, it was like Anakin Skywalker.
Yep.
But
That
then
was
like
his
so
name.
that's where it starts. You get episode 2. You see him like, him and Obi-Wan aren't getting along the greatest, right? And then episode 3, this motherfucker went crazy.
He said, I'm about to lop your damn head off.
He killed younglings.
I got the high ground, boy.
Yeah, man.
Don't do it.
Obi-Wan locked his.
Don't do
Yo!
it.
I'm glad we're all here. How have we not talked about this? Obi-Wan is like the best Jedi ever, dude. I mean, Mace is up here with
I'm
me.
looking forward to that TV show.
Yo, Obi-Wan, how they're sending Obi-Wan out on missions to like slay people. Like,
Yeah.
shit, General Grievous is out there. Obi-Wan, we need you to go out there and take care of that. He's like, yo, on it. Like,
He
well,
took care-
who else did Obi-Wan? He killed Darth Maul.
Yeah, he was about to say Darth Maul. He took care of that dude. bro.
Obi-Wan killed Darth Maul. He
came
killed
back,
General
though.
Grievous. He killed,
Yeah, when did Darth Maul come back?
The Han Solo movie. He was at the end of that.
Darth Maul.
Is he a robot?
His like bottom half is a robot, I think.
Nice.
You know where that started though? That was in have you seen all the I think I was living here with you. But I watched all the Star Wars. It's not Rebels. What's
Clone
the other,
Wars?
Clone Wars.
No, I
watched
didn't
all
watch
the
that
Clone
yet.
Wars. He came back in that with a
Yeah,
robotic
he did
body.
with his brother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a robot like legs or whatever.
yeah. That shit was trash though.
Yeah.
The real Darth Maul though in Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Who's
Chopped
the
him
real
in half.
deal?
Yo, he tore up Qui-Gon. I was like, yo, Obi-Wan
Yeah, I
would
really
die.
like Qui-Gon too.
What did you think
I
of
did
that
too, dude.
lightsaber?
Liam Neeson's.
Yeah.
Was she like dreaming when she had the lightsaber?
Like, there's multiple of them. Yeah. There's like a couple of them
His
out
name
there.
was literally Liam Neeson.
the one that, like-
Yeah.
That was like.
Like, because like a different
Did you
version.
see that
Yeah,
lightsaber?
we were talking about that. She had a double bladed lightsaber, but then it turned into like a dual, like a one with two blades. I was like,
Yeah.
Yo, she took that shit.
I saw that in the trailer, and I was like,
Yeah, I was
Yo,
like-
if I see the future and I see that's what I'm gonna become, yo, take me.
Marlon, that's what he said earlier today. He's
I
like,
saw that in the
"Yo,
trailer, and I was
that's
like,
me.
that's
I'm going
whack.
dark side.
I thought it was whack.
You thought it was whack?
Are you
Yeah, 'cause
serious?
I saw it in the trailer, and I was like, that's whack.
Jesus,
Are you
Steve.
serious?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Steve, stop.
But you play WoW.
Because she was like this, and then she was like, and I was like, no, that's whack.
So you're gonna tell me if
Wait, the design of the lightsaber was
Yeah.
whack? Oh, get out of here.
you're gonna tell
dude.
me if you didn't have something like that and WoW, like where you have something on your back, and whenever you hit Z, you pop it out, and it fucking switches like that.
I like that
Whack.
one better than the orange one.
I didn't like it.
So even in like
Yeah.
Monster Hunter
yeah,
World,
Yeah.
Monster Hunter World, switch axe, right? You got this big ass axe, you can switch it into a long ass sword. That does nothing for you.
no.
What,
Okay.
Steve? Get out of here.
Okay.
Why was the lightsaber whack, dude? Did you
I
like Darth
like-
Maul's lightsaber? Double bladed?
Yes, I loved it.
Do you just like the regular lightsabers?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just whack. No,
I'm with you on that.
no,
Well,
I'm not with it anymore.
But better believe I'm having two though. You better believe I'm having two.
Why you hold them like this?
I'm even down with like.
I'm ready to fight.
like the fucking forks.
I was at the temple. I was like, yo, Anakin's on his way. I'm ready.
I'm even down with
got spotted.
Mark about to
what
cut
was
his
it?
own ear off with his.
Mark, well, was it episode 1 where it's like,
Up to a damn euro.
which one was it where the guy had like 4 arms and he had like 4 of them?
Grievous?
Oh, General Grievous.
Yeah.
You like that?
That was dope.
None of those sabers were his.
Look at his face. Steve was like, he was like, hey, as many as I can carry.
Yep.
So
I will say the way how he wielded it though was
you're
sick.
okay
That
with-
shit was sick though. He's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
but-
like he
but
spinned his
that's
arms.
my point though. Obi-Wan was like,
What's
but
that?
Obi-Wan was cutting hands off. You
What's
know
that
what I'm saying?
dude's name in One Piece? You gonna be the
Zoro?
guy? Yeah, you gonna be the guy that carries a lightsaber in your mouth too.
Steve gets disarmed. He's like, so what? I got like 8 more.
I got 8 more of these.
Zoro is sick though.
That's Zoro sweet though.
That's just crazy to me though. Like you're cool with Captain Cough with all the lightsabers.
Captain Cloth. It was because he was like a robot. and
Well, it's
then
just normal lightsabers.
Obi-Wan opened his heart up. he shot him. He shot him with a pistol. General Grievous is scrubbed. He said, he was on fire.
Hey, he was dope in the first few seasons, and then
in the Clone Wars thing.
Yeah.
He was straight. They go on some back. They give General Grievous some backstory in Clone Wars.
yeah, and he
I
was
feel
dope.
like that was like a kid show, but it was like it had some depth to it. You know,
No, I mean,
like you had to watch that to get some more.
That's the whole point.
Yeah,
It give you more insight into the
General-
background of the story. And
Yeah.
on top of that, I liked that it was just focused on Anakin. Like it showed
Yeah.
it showed him like in between the movies.
Yeah,
Literally,
because he became, or he was like a Jedi Knight, but then
Yeah.
he got they issued him a Padawan too.
Yep,
so
exactly.
He was like training somebody
Yep.
else.
So like he was literally on a way to becoming a master, but still had a Padawan, which was kind of weird because like he was like the only one that ever did that.
yeah,
Because no
because he's
knight.
so strong in the Force. So
Yeah.
here's the list. So I had a list. I looked up a bunch of lists of like metachlorian counts, right?
Mhm.
I mean, we all know who's number one. It's my boy Anakin, right? Darth Vader had like the biggest rule of all time, right? That's
yeah,
what they
he was-
painted it out to be, right? Then there's like Darth Sidious.
Well, that's not what the movies show.
Right. Apparently, Rey is like the fucking goddess, right? I mean, nothing against Rey. I just
Hey, Ray's babe, bro. That's what people say.
Rey is May.
I would even say
I
I would even say Palpatine is stronger than him, man.
that force. I was telling Marlon earlier that Force Lightning taking ships down. I was like,
He shot up in the sky and he took out like the whole
oh, like telling
sky.
Elise. I was like, this motherfucker's real.
So how he was doing it?
Yeah, that's shit. I get up, like if I'm Rey on the ground, be like, oh shit, oh Jesus.
Yo.
I can come back later.
Yo,
Come back.
why are you doing? Okay, let me do this
Dude.
force throw real quick.
For real, yeah. For real,
Done.
dude.
Cut.
No,
Credits.
Palpatine. No,
That Black
Palpatine-
Dynamite scene, bro. I threw that shit before I came in the room.
No, the funniest scene in that shit is when he
No,
kicked
that's
that
so-
dude in the crate, dude.
That's
That
the
dude was like,
funniest
he's
thing.
like, You fucking roundhouse kicked his
My
head.
thing is 'cause I know exactly because I saw it yesterday.
One thing I always wonder about Star Wars, like, so you got them like being able to like take objects and like throw them, and then like how easy, like how strong like Rey and like Kylo are like at the end. They're like, man, why aren't they just like taking rocks and boulders and shit like that and chucking it at people like all the time? Like,
Yeah.
because like if they're able to take a whole fucking ship down, taking a rock that's like the size of someone's head and chucking it at someone's head.
You saw Ray. You saw Ray when she was training. She had all those rocks floating around her.
But you don't
yeah.
see like them like.
I get what you're
There's
saying.
gotta
Like
be
if I'm like running into the Sith planet, right, and I see Palpatine like floating there, connected to all those things, I'd be like, there that motherfucker is right there.
Or even like in the, or even like in the older movies.
Fucking just grab his like big ass mechanical arm that's holding him, and he snapped the shit off
like
the
what
ceiling.
Steve was saying. I would have been like behind a rock or something. Like, I see you, bitch.
Or like even in like the older movies, like in Clone Wars, like
Two big
or Attack of the Clones, like
come
why-
together like butt cheeks.
where they have all the different like Jedis. Like, where's the one Jedi out of that whole group that has like who specializes in just like chucking shit?
It's supposed to be Yoda, but his ass stayed behind. No, basically.
But I mean, that just shows like how much like more powerful that they got throughout the seasons.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden, it's like, oh, Attack of the Clones, they're only using lightsabers. There's no people like just chucking shit around and whatnot. And then all of a sudden, it's like, I'm able to hold a full ship down.
A fan theory is like anybody with a green lightsaber, it means like you're strong with the Force. Anybody with a blue lightsaber, it means you're like a strong duelist, right?
What does orange mean?
What is yellow?
Well,
These are
What
all
is
theories.
purple?
I actually
Yeah,
watched
it's
like a whole
Purple
video
means
about it
you're
because like
Sam Jackson.
because Anakin
Yeah.
he
Purple
Purple
started.
means you the realest motherfucker in
or,
the
I mean,
galaxy.
Luke.
That was like the whole reason why he got the lightsaber. He was like, I need to be able to like stand out from the crowd. Well, we got the big wide shots. I need that purple one.
that's the story. Like Sam was just like,
I need to
just-
stand
I want-
out.
I want a purple one. But fan theory, I'd like to believe like
No, well,
this
the
motherfucker
fan
was,
the
like,
fan theory
best.
about the purple one was the fact that like because again when I read it, Mace he was really forceful, like he was really good with justice, but he kind of bent it a little bit because like red meant like you were evil or whatever. You're part of the. Are you all right, man? You got.
I'm good. Continue.
Oh, okay. You're going with the add a little
Yeah.
bit of red and blue.
Yeah, exactly. And then so like he kind of bent the rule a little bit, but he
was-
did it all for justice.
He was in the gray area.
Yeah, he was kind of in the what I'm doing isn't right, but it's all for the better good. And so that's why his is purple. Because like there was different like theories of why like Mark says like one color meant that you were stronger with the force.
Well, because look at everybody with a blue lightsaber.
But Luke had both of them because he made his. Remember?
Because he had.
Well, he had one
blue.
passed down. Yep.
He had blue, but the truth behind that is something went wrong with the filming or something, so somebody screwed up and gave him a green one in Return of the Jedi. But fan theory is when he finished his training on Yoda's planet, he had a green one.
Well, the other one was passed down, right? The blue one was passed down originally. He didn't have a lightsaber. It was passed down by his father.
It was Anakin's.
Yeah, Anakin's. And then
Anakin was
when he was
duelist.
when he was training, he had
when
to
he
go
doesn't have
on
the high
his
ground.
journey and get his own saber or make his own saber, which was green.
Right.
Yeah, and
So
then
Luke was. So which falls through with
Wait,
this
which one was
because-
better?
Huh?
I
No, better one. Just
Blue.
blue means
Blue's-
that-
blue's better.
I would rather be blue for sure.
Blue's better.
100%.
Well, Yoda was green, wasn't he?
Yeah, but Yoda was really strong in the Force.
yeah, it's green was you were stronger.
Strong
You were more
force.
connected with the force.
What
So
is
Qui-Gon- so
what is
Qui-Gon-
yellow?
Huh? Hold on, dude. Let me explain.
That means yellow means you're OP. I mean, that's,
Because
Apparently,
doesn't
yeah.
Osaka or whatever?
Yeah,
have
she had a yellow
Yeah.
one too. Yep, but
So-
she took that one, didn't she? She didn't originally have one.
where's that come
Yeah.
from? Because I don't know.
No, this is just before there were colors. Like before there were like
Yeah.
tons of colors, right? There was only like red, green, and blue, right? So the theory was red is Sith.
Yep.
That stands true still to this day.
Yep.
Green is you're like a strong Force user. Blue is you're a strong duelist. So you look at everybody with green. Yoda had green.
Mm-hmm.
Luke, after in Return of the Jedi, the last like older movie in 6, he had a green. He supposedly finished his training. So Luke being strong with the Force, sure.
So,
So-
Leia had a green one because
She's a strong Force
but all
user.
of
She
a
had the
sudden,
Force.
all of a sudden her thing turns to blue.
I don't know where the blue one. I don't know where the blue one came from.
So, what?
Yeah.
Ab-
Because when she was like, oh, Leia's lightsaber. I thought it was gonna be green.
Yeah,
And
I
then
was
she,
like,
she hits the button and it's blue. I was like,
some editor, some like
somebody
CGI
fucked up
guy.
again.
Somebody-
Somebody fucked up again. I
So-
told you in 1977. That's it. You're done.
So what about like how do you make yellow? Is that red and green?
Well, yellow was supposed to be, or again, fan theory. Yellow was supposed to be like
Yellow would have been
neutral. It was like it was
whatever
well,
green was, right? Because yellow and blue make
I
green.
forgot what the fan theory was, but I think they were saying that when you pick up the crystal, like to make the lightsaber, the crystal color is neutral. Like it's just clear.
It's a clear crystal.
Yeah, it's a clear crystal.
And then you build the
based
lightsaber.
based off of how your connection with the force and the power is, it changes the color of the crystal. So red indicated that you were like causing the crystal to suffer in pain because you were like, just abusing it because you wanted strength or something like that, and that's why it bleeded.
You are strong. Like you act on emotion.
Yeah.
And you're not causing the crystal pain, but it's based on like how you are with the Force. All Sith, they're not technically evil. It's like the balance between good and evil, but it's like the bad guys actually think they're doing good, right?
Yeah. Like
So Sith aren't actually bad guys.
I mean,
they just think
technically, weren't the rebels the one who were the bad guys,
Yeah.
basically?
Yeah, according to the Sith.
Yeah.
But because the Sith race, because it was a race, it wasn't just like a lineage with the Force. The Sith was like a race of people, and then their planet got like destroyed, and that's why it looks like I never even heard of Exegol or whatever, because I thought the Sith planet was like I thought
Exegol.
I don't know what there was a Sith planet, but now all those Sith live on Exegol, which is like an exiled part of the galaxy, right? So it's all dark.
Well, didn't they
it's all
say it was
shitty.
like that's where the last war ended or whatever or something like that?
Oh, did they?
I think so.
Okay.
but like
They were saying some kind of war ended there or something.
Okay.
I think the only two colors in the fan theory that wasn't really explained was the yellow, but they said that the yellow was kind of more connected to a neutral color that you were just like.
I'm curious what yellow means because, like, obviously, like yellow and blue make green, so it's got to be like something strong with the Force, right?
Yeah.
Kind of,
They
but
didn't
because
really explain
then
that.
Rey's was yellow and red.
That means she's balanced between the two.
Yeah, so she like red is
She's
obviously
regular
Sith.
But
Red is obviously Sith, and yellow, she has an orange lightsaber, so it's kind
That's
of
what
interesting.
that's what I was saying. That's what I
It's
was
kinda
getting at.
interesting.
Like
I
maybe
thought her
because
thing was yellow.
it was like
It's
orange.
orange.
Yeah.
It looked
I thought
yellow
it
to
was
me.
yellow.
I thought
It was like
orange.
golden orange or something.
I thought it was
It
orange.
looked yellow to me.
but
Sorry.
It looked
was
orange to me, is what it.
I mean, it was in the desert, so like everything was kind of like that same
Yeah.
kind of color, but it was
It
like
looked-
definitely like orange.
Which
thought it was yellow,
if
but-
it was red and
I'd have to
yellow,
see it
that
again.
kind of make maybe a little bit more sense. 'Cause,
There's
like,
got to be a meaning. But
So if
I
she's
don't know.
she's
Yeah,
like,
like the
you
three-
know,
the three
part of the
colors-
Palpatine line,
Yeah.
that would make sense then.
Yeah.
the three colors that we don't fully understand because again the theory is between like red, blue, and green was kind of explained, but the other colors like purple isn't really explained.
No.
Yellow
Samuel
isn't
Jackson's
explained.
one a different one.
Yeah.
And
He wanted to
in-
stand out.
Yeah.
I don't know if they put it in the show, but like one of the leaders of the Mandalorian, he's like the only one that was able to be connected with the Force. He had a black lightsaber. He was the only one, and they don't explain why, like, what that color meant or
Gotcha.
why he as a bounty hunter had a lightsaber as well, but. He was considered like the strongest one of the bounty hunters, and he was able to use the Force, but his was a black lightsaber, so that shit was kind of cool.
All right. So, based on everything we just talked about, I'm looking on Wikipedia, which is the Wikipedia of Star Wars.
Star Wars.
So, which I'm attributing to fan fiction still because it hasn't been released by George Lucas or anybody. But
Again,
So-
like I said, it's just all fan theory.
lightsaber crystals were used to indicate a Jedi's chosen class. Blue indicated a Jedi Guardian, a Jedi who used the Force on a more physical level. Green indicated a Jedi Counselor, which is a Jedi who preferred to reflect the mysteries of the Force and fight the dark side at its heart.
Yeah, I'm reading this thing. It says it is yellow. They were saying that red and green kind of make like a yellowish lightsaber, and it's like,
So she's strong in the Force, but she
Yeah.
dabbled in the dark side.
Well, she's from
Well,
from Palpatine,
yeah.
so she got some dark in her, and those dope ass fucking switchblade lightsabers
Well, I feel like a
that
lot
Steve
of
was
these like
stealing.
last movies, they kind of like showed like the struggle between the two. Like they're kind of like you're not just like one, you're both, kind of.
Yeah, and that's what it said. It's more specifically, as noted on the official Star Wars site, lightsabers come from kyber crystals, typically found in the frozen caves of the world Ilum, which acquire color once attuned to a specific Jedi.
Yeah, like once because like it's all clear when you first get it.
All
But when
the cave is like a big ass cave with
Yeah.
clear crystals in it. You grab it, you make your lightsaber, then you pop that bitch open, and it's a certain color.
Yep, and then your color is how your
So-
affiliation is.
But none of this shit is like.
But they don't explain like some
Yeah,
of the
no,
colors.
it's
Like
never
the yellow
been-
was never really explained. And like I said, the bounty hunter guy, I forgot. He was like the leader of the Mandalorians, or captains of whatever the bounty hunter. He had a black lightsaber. He's the only one, and then whoever was able to use it kind of like led the power. That was able to use the Force with it. Same thing with Mace Windu. Like
Mace
he was,
Windu had a purple
so-
one
Purple
because
one, they
he
didn't
wanted to
really-
be different on set. So
So on this
Will
last
Smith
movie,
syndrome.
how'd you feel about Finn being force sensitive?
there's tons of kids in the universe that are force sensitive.
Because I was like, all of a sudden he's like, oh, she's dead. Because he like felt that she died.
Yeah.
Well, I
So-
mean,
Just a
I mean,
feeling.
kind of fits in with like his whole story, though.
Yeah.
Like he left the stormtroopers because he felt
And then there was that group
Yeah.
of there was that whole like group of
That left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that whole faction or whatever that left.
like the
because-
whole platoon or
Yeah,
whatever
the whole
they were.
platoon left
Were they all black?
based on the feeling.
Yeah.
No, there's that white dude, but he black too. Nah, I don't know. Like I guess whatever shenanigans they did with the whole platoon, that worked on me because I'm like, all right, Finn being force sensitive, and then they felt like they shouldn't be doing this. The Force telling them that they shouldn't be doing this or whatever, right? I'm like, okay, so there's a whole platoon of people that felt the same way he did. Sure, that worked on me. Fine.
But do you think that he should have said what he was gonna say when they were like sucking into this quicksand?
Too late now. She
Yeah,
kissed
that
Ben.
was. They never like really touched back on that.
Yeah, they never like touched back on it. I remember.
Yeah.
Too late, huh?
It was kind of
Well, yeah,
weird
the
though
movie's over,
because
but
it was like that's why I'm saying like the last movie like felt like they just kind of like changed a bunch of stuff.
I mean, they could have
and,
said
like,
something at the end.
Yeah,
basically
like-
ended it because like at the end when everybody was kind of like
He liked her, dude.
grouping with people though, like
Yeah.
you see Finn with what's her name, the
The other black chick, or no,
no,
he was with
the
Rose.
Asian, yeah, the Asian
Rose,
chick,
yeah.
Rose. You see Poe with the one girl with the
That was
helmet.
hilarious. I thought.
Oh yeah,
He's like,
he saw her from across the way.
And then
he's
she's
like, he's like, all right, it's cool. he wasn't
But-
getting none of that. Ain't getting none today.
Don't give me that
You
guy.
save the universe? No. Okay.
Take it.
He's like, yo, you remember when like everything was about to like blow up and we was all screwed over? Yo, I was there when I saved the day. She's like, so.
But it was kind of weird, like because you already see them make out or whatever, her and Ben, and then all of a sudden, like you see all these people like grouped with like kind of specific people at the end, and you're just like, what the heck?
Yo,
Kinda weird.
Yeah, I was like, yo, go get her, Finn. But nah, Ray's on her own. She going to get her yellow lightsaber, dude.
Well, in this thing, it said yellow lightsabers were for Jedi Sentinels who honed their abilities and like made them strong or whatever.
Nah, fuck that.
Yo,
Anyways.
fucking Kylo Ren, fucking dumb as hell for throwing that dope ass lightsaber.
Why did he throw his lightsaber away?
That was dumb as hell.
Jesus. That was
And
like-
Han
it's like-
told him to do that.
He's like, I custom.
That's what he
made
got out of
this
that
shit."
message.
well,
That's not what I got
technically,
out of
it
it.
was just a memory, but
yeah, it was a memory, but still, I get what he's saying. Like when he was like, I was like, no.
Why would you do
I was
that?
like, shit, man, would I be a Sith?
And then he was just like,
I'm keeping this.
wait,
No, I hear
psych, I got it.
I hear you saying that. Yo, but I gotta keep this though. Look at this, because I made it like this on purpose. Because it comes out the size like this on purpose.
He said, "Look, listen."
yeah, dude. His
thought it was
color
because,
red
He's
was
like,
thought it was
sick.
he's like, you
because,
see how many
his
people get their
crystal was
hands
cracked
cut
or
off?
whatever.
He's like, these two things,
These
you
two
know,
things stops it.
they stop it from sliding down.
Yeah,
You know, make sure your hands not
He's
are
like-
safe. You know.
No, Dad, you're right. Wait, what, you want me to what? No, but I'm gonna need this when I go to fight him.
He
Nah,
said,
I can't
he's
throw
like,
this
you
away.
know, these side
he
things.
said, he
they-
said, "Don't worry about it. You're
they
gonna
help
do
me from
great,
getting my
great
hand chopped
things."
off.
All right, if he did that, then I would have threw it away.
he's like, hey, Dad, man, I didn't want to be like the rest of my family, getting my hand chopped off and shit.
Yeah, so I made these side things. Hey, you just manual anything of it.
thought it was because
It's like my
the crystal
grandpa
was
got
cracked.
his hand chopped
Yeah.
off.
All these damn
My uncle got his hand
Damn
chopped off.
Skywalker getting their hands lopped off. Yo, protect your hands.
Watch your hands, Cletus. Watch your hands.
Fucking Anakin got his hand lopped off. Then here come Luke. He's like, I'm your father. He's like, no. He's like, me too. Look.
Didn't Dooku get his hands cut off too?
Who?
Dooku.
Yeah, Dooku got his hands lopped off. Anakin, man, quick work at him, dude.
Nice,
Anakin was the
nice.
best. Is Anakin the best Jedi? No, we already said this. Obi-Wan is.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan is, for real.
He said, "Don't do it. I have the high ground."
Dude. Obi-Wan wasn't playing,
Fucking
dude.
did it anyway. I told you. I told you what would happen.
Only one in Jedi history that, well, other than Mace lopping off Boba Fett's head, dude, in front of his kid. Yo, Mace was a savage, dude. In Attack of the Clones, he's like, he's trying to shoot. He's like, and he like posed, and then his head went rolling in front of his kid. His kid was like,
Wasn't his kid
Mace was posed like this. He lopped his head clean off.
Wasn't his kid supposed to be a clone of himself though?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he
Like they were all the
All
Cold
clones,
Clone
yeah.
was
yeah,
way
but
up
without all the accelerated bullshit, he told them that he wanted like a clone of himself, but like without all the accelerated like aging shit. Yeah. So he wanted a son, but yo,
Because apparently, Boba Fett and Jango Fett are not real Mandalorians. They're just clones.
They're just bounty hunters.
Yeah, they're bounty hunters.
Well, the
Okay.
regular guy's not a clone, right?
regular guy.
Regular Boba
Oh,
Fett.
Boba Fett.
Yeah.
That's what Tony just said.
Well, I thought he was a clone of someone else, wasn't he?
Was he?
No, he was
I
original. He was.
I thought he was the one that
Oh.
all the clones were based on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe
So did they clone him because he was a Mandalorian? I thought they cloned him because he was a Mandalorian, but you're saying that he wasn't an original.
I can't
Mandalorian?
remember. Again, it was just.
I don't know enough about it.
It's like a fan theory thing that I read. I remember that Star Wars is a lot, really in depth, man. It's
Yeah,
like
Star Wars
it's
is
like
dope,
Kingdom
man.
Hearts, man. There's just too much.
I likes it. Anyways, dude, we've been here for a long time.
Yeah, we talked about Star Wars for a minute.
That's all we talked about. But it was good though. Or, well,
some lions too.
that was our first mistake, dude.
What was that mistake?
Star Wars was a big thing this weekend.
It was a big thing, dude.
Jumanji was pretty good though.
Why is Kylo Ren's lightsaber unstable?
Oh, that was pretty dope.
It says Boba Fett is a human clone.
See?
Um,
See, I remember. I was just like, I remember. I read that he was a clone of someone.
well, you know what that explains? It explains why he got dealt with real quick by Mace.
Jango Fett
Oh,
is a
that is
human.
pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was his clone. It was his clone.
No, I like it. I dig it.
Oh, you ruined it. Oh God. Don't take us out, man. Oh God.
All right, dude, we gotta get out of here, dude.
Yeah, I need to go to sleep. I'm
Jeez,
tired.
oh, Pete.
I gotta get.
I got work tomorrow.
into the slaughter shaft.
I don't know, man.
Man, I'd
Should we
join
just
you,
do
but I don't think I can do it.
I forgot to download it actually, because we played Pokemon up until like 10 minutes before we had to be here. So
Well, you wanted to do one more raid and one more raid and one more
I still
raid.
got a Deli Bird waiting.
Okay, let's do one more raid.
Delibird.
Yeah. All right, man. It's been real. So, what do you give Star Wars, Steve?
He said 7.
7.
Can we just redo it after we talk?
7, 7, 7,
6.
6.
Well, what if I want to change mine now?
All right. What do you want to change to?
Probably
6.
6, dude. I don't know why she had a yellow lightsaber.
She's a little bit of
And the
both.
title was fucked up. It's like,
Yeah, the title. I don't agree with the title. I don't like. The
and
title.
everything was convenient.
Yeah,
about
it's
that.
very convenient.
Dude, it had a good story, but it's just like
I feel like that's how all movies nowadays. That's
It's a
very
Star Wars
convenient
Yeah,
of
it's
what
very
happened in,
convenient. Yeah,
in
it just-
movies.
It just happens that way,
Yeah.
right? So okay, so you can force feed me the like it just happened
Force
that way.
feed.
See what
Well,
I'm
I
doing?
mean, the last Star Wars, if you think about the last Star Wars movie, you could almost like negate half of the movie, but, or even more than half of it.
You know, I watched the last Star Wars movie and that choreo at the end where they're in that room where they're fighting all those.
Well, they legit could just like negate that shit.
Yeah,
the
that fight
fact
scene was
that-
pretty bad.
The
that
fact-
fight scene was dope. What are you talking about?
Bro, there's literally guys just flipping for no reason, like they didn't get hit. And they
In
were
Last
just,
Jedi,
yeah,
when they're in the red room,
yeah, where they were fighting all those guys.
yeah.
Yeah, those guards. They literally one guy just
Yeah.
he just spun like he didn't get hit.
If
No
you-
one
if
touched
you-
him. He like if you watch it like the background of them like trying to fight, one dude was just like
Because, you know, like,
Why
and I'm
can
just like
'Cause, you know,
Like,
in those movies,
what?
like they always go like 1v1 instead of like
Yeah.
everyone.
And why can
so
Finn
then
shoot?
like those people in the background have to do something.
He's a
so like
stormtrooper.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I'm watching them, and I'm just like,
Good stormtrooper, though.
did my man just fall?
No,
Like,
but are you sure that nobody force pushed him?
well, from what the scene that I saw, like,
No, I've seen people review it.
yeah, like
and they're like-
Ray was like in the middle of like fighting someone else, and the guy that was in the back, he just like, I don't know, it looked like he just ran for a second, and then he just like, and I'm just like,
I'm going straight home. And I'll watch it.
Okay, but what was episode 4 called?
Episode 4?
New
That
Hope.
was New Hope, yeah.
So I mean, in that one, I mean, you get like laser beams that don't actually hit people and uppercuts that don't
Yeah.
connect. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. I mean, that shit was rough.
All right.
In the original, like, don't you have the VHSs? Like, so you got the original where that guy, that stormtrooper who was going through that
No,
door.
I don't have the original.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Well, there was
I got
originally
remaster
in the
though.
very original.
Han shot first, man.
There was like, huh?
Han
Who shot first?
Oh.
yeah, it was Han, bro.
That's all. He shot
He
first.
shot first.
In the original one, yeah.
Yeah, he shot
In the
first.
in the new ones,
Yeah.
he didn't. But in the original, he shot first.
Is the stormtrooper hitting his head on the door? Is that still in there?
I don't remember.
Because that shit was stupid.
Yeah, the door didn't go. The door didn't go all the way.
The door
up.
didn't go all the way. It said zzz, and they were running, and one of the stormtroopers was like, and his helmet was like,
And it was in the movie.
yeah, it was in the movie, like the final cut. That shit made it.
You know, I excuse it for how old that movie is, but I mean, come on, in this movie where it was just out like last year, you're gonna tell me you couldn't fix that
You couldn't
fight
do a
scene?
second tape.
Yeah, you couldn't do like another take. You just gotta have a guy just like, yeah, I'm just gonna flip because she was supposed to do a back kick, but she didn't do the back kick, so I'm gonna fall.
Oh, so she missed like.
Yeah, one of the
she missed the
choreos.
pro-
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
One of the cues or whatever.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to watch that still though. I'm gonna
Yeah.
watch that shit.
All right, Mark. Tell us where they can find us.
What? You can find me right here in Steve.
Boom.
It's easy how you trying to flip it over me, dude. I told you they can find me, dude. All right, see each other. They can really find us though.
Weekly Reset Podcast.com.
All right. See you later.
Bye, y'all.
We out.